Hey, what's up, guys? It is your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, Ben 2000 YGO, and our guest today is the one, the only, the myth, the legend, Bystander. What is up, brother?
Oh, everything up. Sky, ceiling, stars are
My,
coming out. Some.
yeah, especially where you're at. It's still like bright and sunny here
Yeah.
in Texas. But that's because I don't know. Time changes are weird.
Got an hour difference, so it's not
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. Well, so I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room. Uh,
Okay.
the ban list.
Yes.
Is there no?
Oh my God.
I might have some exotic pets, but I don't have an elephant yet.
Yeah. Oh, that ban list. Oh, that was rough. I mean,
Can they really
the
be?
shirt.
Yeah.
The shirt says it. Spank me harder. We all got spanked on that, so I'm sorry.
Oh, by
They
the way,
did
guys,
nothing.
I'm gonna do a shameless plug real quick. Bystander, could you back up from the camera so they can see the whole shirt for just a second?
Let me just get my headphones off.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys saw that. That is the Spank Me Harder Konami t-shirt that's used to support the channel. If you guys are interested, you should buy that, especially because that's kind of what Konami did to all of us.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think the only thing we got off that list was all the guys at full power, Necros at full power, and Ritual Beast at full power.
Yeah, and
So-
Ultrageist at full power now.
Yeah, still not going to do really anything. So
You know, I was commenting on Angel of Alchemy. I think you're familiar with her.
yeah,
She shared her thoughts on it on Instagram, and I was kind of conversing with her on it. I was like, well, on the bright side, most of us are playing on like Edo Pro, so we'll just wait for them to time out for Ritual Beast.
oh Jesus,
Let me sit
yeah,
there,
that's
loop,
true.
loop, 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 and then I win because they ran out of time.
Yeah, it's pretty true.
It'll be like free wins, yay! And then every Ritual player, Beast player will just try to. If you see a game hosted with no time limit, don't go in there, guys. It's a trap.
Yeah, Ritual
It's a
Beast,
trap.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
But still, Necros at full power. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Especially-
I'm not as intimidated by Necros as I used to be, especially now that I have dinosaurs. Because back when Necros was out, I was playing with Lightsworn, and I did not stand a ghost's chance in hell.
Oh well, 3 unicorns basically means they're going to be blocking monster effects.
From the extra deck, yeah.
Yeah, from the action deck. That's pretty much it. So Adamantivators are pretty screwed at that, but
But Eldritch is just going to point and laugh at them like, okay.
yeah, I mean they could just send their Golden Boy and a spell card to the graveyard and just take off their floodgates. So
If they even need the extra deck in the first place, because the zombie guy can get like, what, 35, right? He can get as big as an ulti
Yeah.
conductor Tyranno.
yep, can be 35, and I think it lasts till the end of the next turn or something like that.
Yeah. So he'll be big ol' SOB. And then, of course, like, I don't think Eldritch needs their hand necessarily. I think they could just kind of put it all in the field, so they're kind of like Trish-proof in that way, too.
Yeah.
Like, being like, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, but the thing about it is that it does put a cramp on the Synchro engine as well as the Invoke version. So, sure, Eldritch might be something that might shift. We might see that. So,
Yeah. I mean, on the bright side about Necros is it's not like it was in Necros format. Like, we don't have to deal with the Dijin lock.
no, the Shinlock is still, Jin is still banned. I mean, thank God for that.
Yeah. So, Bystander, who's your friend in the background?
That would be my sister. So,
Oh. Well, hi, Bystander's sister. Hi! She can't hear me, can she?
no, she can't.
Oh, okay. Is she cute? I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. That's a
Back
joke.
off.
I'm just kidding. Just I
Right.
have to make you feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I guess I had that coming. Just make you play with the OCG hits of the dinosaur. So, yeah, gonna take a few lumps.
little nudge back at you for.
Yeah.
And then of course I was right about one thing. We weren't really gonna get a ban list. I was pseudo right.
Pseudo right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, when you have a group of Yugitubers basically pointing out the unfair cards in the format, and you just ignore that, that's a problem right there. I mean, we're dealing with unprecedented times. certain policies aren't going to work. You need to be flexible in this situation. So they should have been looking at the online tournaments, seeing what was happening, how the game was evolving, and at least try to have at least a few other moves on the list to at least curb some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind that stuff that was coming off. I mean, it's just Black Dragon should have went, Destruction Sword should have went. So
they should put Lithogasm to 3. Watch people's minds explode.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll trade you a Calamity for 2 Lithogasm. How about that?
No.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't trade that. That's a fair trade.
That's not a fair trade at all.
Sure, it
no.
is. The floodgate's gone. Without the
I'd rather have a monster floodgate than the 2 Lithogasm in a day. So,
are you afraid of like just popping baby dinosaurs and like plus here, plus there?
no, because then they'll probably just take more out of the Draco deck, and that deck already got enough hits because of it. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're the player everyone calls a scumbag. Now we know the truth. So,
yeah.
Bystander, I gotta ask, your avatar. You know what your avatar reminds me of? He reminds me of like those old like detective film, like black and white detective films. Like I'm just waiting for you to like. I'm surprised I didn't see you wearing that like jacket and a hat and smoking a cigar. But like, and I was waiting for that dame to come in here any minute now.
Yeah, going full noir. No, that's not going to be me. So.
But it looks cool. I'm just saying, it does look cool. It's a cool avatar.
Talency really came through on me for designing that logo for me. So, props to them.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, if you ever decided you wanted to go that route with your channel, like, say you set up a camera and had the hat and the jacket on, like that's all you would need, just the hat and the jacket. I mean, boom, you've got it. You're like a noir.
Hat, jacket, strapped on a dual disc, you know.
You know what? That's somebody should make that an anime version of you. Come on, if I can walk around with this goofy Omnitrix, I mean, although I'm gaining traction as a Yu-Gi-Oh superhero.
That's a good thing, so.
Yeah. So, but what inspired your avatar, if you don't mind me asking?
I always thought that particular look fit the whole term of the bystander. Somebody without a face, somebody who easily blends into a crowd. I mean, for me, it kind of represents how I feel about myself sometimes. You know, just a guy that's standing there just observing everything that's going on.
Yeah. Kind of like, so sometimes in your personal life you feel more like you're a witness as opposed to one of the characters in the story.
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of deep. It's kind of a deep thing. Like mine was a complete joke. Yours is like a deep like representation of how you see yourself. Mine's just like, this will be funny.
Hey, but it works. So.
Yeah, I looked just enough like him in the face, even though I'm a little bit a little chubbier than Ben 10 is, and I have a lot less hair, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Besides, I've already got the avatar. You saw it in the private chat. The avatar for when I don't have any hair anymore.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I've got 12. I'm 12 steps ahead, guys. I may have hair now, but I won't have hair in 10 years. So I'm 10 steps ahead.
That's good.
Yeah, that's me being a little bit wacky. So now we're going to talk about some more of your personal life. How about that? You ready for this?
All right, shoot away.
All right. Oh, okay. So you're ready? You're good?
Gotta go. So let's roll.
All right. So, I think. Do you have a day job, as opposed to you? Go ahead.
I am currently the head teacher at my local Huntington Learning Center, so I am an educator. Oh, I've been teaching online mostly. We've been doing online sessions most of the time, so I'm a lot busy mostly from between 10 and usually 5. But some students have late sessions. So maybe 7 some days. So
you're a teacher basically by
yes.
trade. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. Where were the teachers like you when I was in high school? This nonsense.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder that myself because I'm helping students online. I mean, they've shown me some of the online stuff that they're actually using it for their online tutoring. Or sessions from school, and I'm like, where was this when I was in school? I mean, I understand more of this stuff coming off online now than I did when I was sitting in the classroom. I mean, it's just maddening. So
it can be frustrating, especially when like we have all these new technology and tools and things like that. I'm like sitting there like I have a younger brother who's still in high school, and sometimes he'll show me his stuff, and I'm like, where the hell was that when I was in school? I wanted a tablet. Do you know how easy homework would have been if I'd had a tablet?
Yep.
Oh, God. So not fair. And then, of course, it turns out the math teachers back in the day were a bunch of liars. You won't always have a calculator with you. Ha! Joke's on you, teach. Ha ha!
Yeah.
That's a horrible joke, isn't it?
No, not really. It's truth. It's a sad truth. So
technology, man. Soon it'll I bet you. I wouldn't even be shocked if in 20 years from now, people don't even have a cell phone. It's in their head or something.
It's in their head. You just click the side of your head. Boom. There's a screen in the person's face, and like you're just talking with them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be friggin' cyborg people.
Step closer to being immortal, though.
Sign me up. Sign me up. The second they figure out how to put a brain into a computer, I'm done. I'm in. Sign me up.
That's the second I'd be freaked out, because you know very well somebody's going to become Skynet and blow us all the way. So,
and they put my brain in the computer, you don't got to worry about that. I'll fix it for you. Don't worry. It'll be like Mega Man, Battle Network. I will be the Mega Man. I'll have to change my name to Mega Man of Yu-Gi-Oh!
MegaMan.exe. Oh man, I love that game series.
Oh man,
that was an awesome game series on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh yeah, like I think the only one I played, like Battle Network. I think was that the same one?
That's the first. Yeah, that's the first one, Battle Network.
Okay. Yeah, where they had like Navis instead of being robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Navis. Yeah.
I actually
sending in the battle chips. It was almost like a combination RPG with trading card games. So natural fit for me. So love playing those games.
Yeah, a little bit of a mix there. I was gonna say, all right. So for another thing that's part of your personal life, do you have any romantic interest yet?
Not yet. No, sorry, unattached.
And I imagine that the current pandemic situation probably doesn't help with that.
It does not. No, it does not.
That's all right, though. I'm sure just give it a little bit of time, Like, I saw somebody was saying something about how, like, a lot of places are already in stage 2 of vaccine testing. So,
yeah, I've heard that. So
we'll
fingers crossed we might see the vaccine. But then again, knowing our government or our leader, he might pull some weird shit.
He'll be like, he's like, you have to sign this waiver that you will be completely subservient to the United States, and you might also suck my dick. Oh, wait, this is YouTube. I can't say that.
Yeah, that's why I stopped myself. But no, knowing him is like, he might pull some weird stuff where it's like, oh, only I can get the cure done faster, and it won't happen until after you let me. I'm like,
yeah, oh yeah, of course.
I'm waiting for him to pull that, so.
Yeah.
He does that, that's. Yeah.
Or you're going to see a mass bunch of Americans going on vacation in Canada. That's all I'm saying.
Well, when he was elected, the Canadian site shut down because there were so many inquiries. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, I was just sitting there like, man, I'm not gonna lie, Canada just keeps looking better and better. Even I've been thinking about
better healthcare, yeah. So,
yeah, I'm sitting there like, you know what? Team Sam and Triff look like they know what's going on. I think I'm gonna go over there. Oh man, that's a horrible joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just want to pull off the Wolverine line. Your country needs you. I'm Canadian.
Man.
That's a horrible joke, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a horrible one, yeah.
That's all right. I'm basically I'm like Joe Rogan meets Jack Black on YouTube. That's like literally like how my whole that's my whole Yu-Gi-Oh persona. And your channel is a lot. I think it's more informational, isn't it? It's mostly deck profiles, but it's definitely more informational.
Yeah, I try to stick to the more informational side. I mean, with my teaching background, that was the easier way to go for myself. So,
yeah.
I mean, before I decided to actually make my channel, I was big into watching Cyber Knight. I loved it. I still watch him for his openings. I love it when he brings in the OCG products just to see how the OCG just does their products and their ratios. I mean, only 5 cards per pack, one rare, so that's pretty interesting. I mean, I think the players over here would probably go apocalyptic with that type of format.
Yeah.
For the packs.
Yeah.
And
course, I got annoyed with like how I get a little bit jealous of Japan, like how some of their cards are like very powerful or common, and I'm like, in Japan I could afford that card, like Minerva or like the Lightsworn Xyz monster. Oh, I was so peeved when they made it a prize card. I was like,
how long do we have to wait for to get the reprint in Battles of Legend? I mean,
too long. Although I got lucky, a friend of mine at my old locals was like, I didn't have money at the time, so I was like, I got $5 for the entry of this tournament, that's it, and then I have money for food, and I was like, okay, I don't have any spare money for that, and he's all like, well, we can't have the local Lightsworn player not playing Minerva, so he hands me the reprint for free. I was like,
nice.
I was like, and I still have it, it's the only Minerva I have, and but he was like, it's $10, I'm not gonna worry about it. I was like, I could hug you? And he was like, please don't.
But still, it was a great card. I mean, I think this year's Battle Legend, we're getting, I think I saw something like 2 potential prize card reprints. I know it was the Armageddon Pendulum. Mm-hmm. I think there was another one that was in there. I think it was the Xyz. There was the Rank Xyz monster or something like that.
Yeah, the Dystopia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the evil Utopia. But,
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So, we also have some other new support that we should talk about. Toon Chaos.
Oh, that set. That's a very good set.
I agree. I think it's better than people are giving it credit for. I think the reprints are awesome, to be honest. I like a lot of, and the Lithogasm reprint makes me a little bit hopeful, to be honest. I'm like, then they're like, ooh, give it back. Just give it back to me, Konami. I just needed it too, and I'll be happy. You can have Calamity. I don't care.
Yeah, I want Diagram back for Triggers. Come on, give me some of that to work with here.
Yeah, a lot of players are like, "Come on, man, you're killing me." And then, of course, all those Chaos monsters. Like, I mean, how long has it been since Light Pulsar had a reprint? Or
it's been a while. I think the last reprint was in one of the Gold series, and that was years ago. So
yeah, and then of course you got Chaos Emperor Dragon, which will probably have the updated text, so that'll be good.
Update it.
Yeah, with the effect that's nerfed all the hell.
Yeah, basically you better win the game with this effect, otherwise you're screwed.
Yeah, which I'm excited to use it just as a Chaos Monster beat stick. That's the only reason I want it.
A beat stick, so 3000K, searchable by
Melody.
What was it? Melody, yeah. So,
yeah. And or also it's searchable off that new Chaos spell, the one that's like just for light and dark monsters. Like, talk about generic. People complain about Fossil Dig and Rhoda. They literally came up with a spell that's like, oh yeah, it's full of
you discard a light, you search a dark, discard a dark, to search a light, so okay. Well, actually, it's send, it's not discard, excuse me, I was corrected.
Yeah, because if it was discard, fucking dangerous.
Dangerous would basically be loving that card so much.
It'd be, let's get dangerous.
Oh yeah, to a whole new degree.
Oh my goodness. That would be funny.
Then I'll be basically maining 3 copies of Chaos Dragon living in there. This is crazy.
So, being that you're a teacher and a YouTuber, does your family ever have any comments for your YouTube stuff? Or
too many to count, so...
are they negative or positive, per se?
Negative, unfortunately.
Oh, do they tell you to get a real hobby or something like that?
Yeah, along that line.
I'm sorry.
What?
I've been fortunate enough that my folks tend to tolerate it, but they also know I'm trying to turn it into a business, per se. So, which I'm very open about that. I don't think anyone's... I'm pretty sure I was pretty straightforward from the get-go that I wanted to make this a monetized channel. So, that way my audience doesn't freak out and think they got tricked or something. I'm like, nope. I'm totally gonna try to monetize this thing. I'll be a full-time tuber.
I think every Yugituber wants to be monetized at some point. So
yeah, I also just know that there's still some people in the Yu-Gi-Oh community that they see a monetized Yu-Gi-Oh channel and they get frustrated, which I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
I can see that, but I've tried doing the Patreon thing, and it really didn't work. Probably because I didn't have the fan base, but yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to that because I really don't have much to really offer through that channel or that particular outlet. So I'm thinking just keeping what I'm doing now with maybe just various giveaways on my channel.
Yeah. I think I've entered a few of your giveaways in the past. I don't know if I have lately, but I think in the past I have.
Yeah, I know Jesse's entered a few. He actually won the first one I did. So
Are you serious?
yeah, that was the soul. It was that the soul set that introduced the Thunder Dragon Sport. It was a special edition for that. He won the full box. So
Oh man, I bet he must have been like, woohoo! At least that's what I imagine, because I imagine Jesse just like, flip shit. I don't know why. But how did you meet Jesse? Did you and him meet in a similar way? Maybe him and I did, because he reached out to me online and asked me to join.
he did actually reach out to me and ask me if you wanted to join the team. And of course, networking is something what social media is to do. And so I jumped on. I jumped at it. So
Yeah, especially in today's, like, just the way Yugitubing is now. It's it's kind of interesting listening to Dan, Underworld 667.
yeah,
He was talking about Yugitubing back when he was doing it. He had to try to talk about how he had to do Yugitubing in the other person's style, but with his own twist. And I was like, man, that's a lot of work. I'm glad that modern Yugitubers are like, no, you present you. Don't try to
yeah,
copy.
I know. I mean, I've been talked to about it by some of my followers saying, "Oh, you need to try to get more energy into your videos and stuff like that. Try to be more like Team Samurai." And on his channel, if I'm trying to be like Team Samurai, I'm sure I'm gonna bust a spleen trying to with that level of energy he has. So,
Oh yeah, like
yeah, I mean, he is a whole nother level. So,
well, I mean, and not everybody is like I don't know. There's just not everybody has to be like look at Slim. You know what I mean? Like, come on, he's one of the bigger channels out there, and he's as mellow as they come. I mean, there was one time I was watching one of Slim's video, and I was all like, bro, I could fall asleep listening to you, bro. I'm gonna play this dude in the background. Dude,
yeah, as long as it gets him the views and the watch time, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, also a lot of tubers are also trying to diversify and things like that now, which I think is important.
Yeah, you should try to have at least a good amount of diversity on the channel.
Yeah.
I've been trying. I know I'm predominantly a deck profile channel, but I try to do maybe speed duels. I try to do my opinions on how to fix the games.
Yeah.
Box openings, reviews.
Well, we know I'm all over the place. Let's face it, I am. You come on my channel, you're like, man, I don't know what Ben's gonna post today.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was that one time for a stretch. I remember I would basically have a particular deck in mind that I was going to post on my channel. The video was filmed and everything else. And then 2 hours before I would post that video, there's Team Samurai with the same exact deck.
And that's going to be frustrating because you're like...
It's frustrating, yeah, but then,
Because if you post your video, everyone just accuses you of copying, even though...
Nah, nobody's ever done that yet, so...
Yeah. Which, well, I mean it's silly to do it anyway, but there are still people out there, like, I've been told I'm copying people, and I'm like, bro, come on. There's only so many ways you can play certain decks to where they function. Yeah.
I know. Speaking of that, I mean, I just love sometimes when you get those comments on the thing, oh, this is a bad deck because you're not playing X amount of cards, X amount of cards, X amount of cards. And I'm like, dude, do you listen to my videos? Do you hear what I'm saying? I mean...
Yeah, right. Like they're.
The way I play my Blue Eyes, it's different from the normal standard, but I still get the same boards.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I feel like a lot of players have to you have to start thinking outside the box, and play in alternative ways because, let's face it, if I play,
it could get boring. So.
Well, not even just that. You get predictable, and that's the thing that's because you want to win. Hey, just because we're primarily casual players doesn't mean I'm not going to play to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, that means I might set up, for example, when you see a lot of my personal decks online, it's my personal deck. That's why there's certain cards missing, because I can't afford those cards.
I get that. Some people like to play online based on what they have in real life. I really do get that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
I'm like that too. So just to see how the decks work with what I have. I mean, if a card is too expensive, I'm gonna play that deck online and fine. I mean, that's that. But
yeah.
But when it comes to real life, if I'm playing Eldritch, I don't have the Golden Boys. I have every other card but the Golden Boys. So.
and you're not willing to spend, probably half a salary just to get it.
Oh yeah, that is just nuts.
$300 for a playset of a card is too much money.
Yeah, it is. Even if you're trying to separate them out, it still doesn't justify the cost.
Yeah, and like it just exactly. Like if it costs 300, and then Konami took off the restrictions. They're like, so used to it was like you could only sell something at an event for under $100.
Yeah.
And now that Konami's lifted that, card prices are just
yeah. And buyouts are going to be more frequent now, so.
Yeah, I'm glad that most of the archetypes I like are fairly cheap, or they get reprints that are cheap, at least at first.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say, like, a lot of people kind of get mad at me because I'll say, like, oh, this is my budget hero deck. And then they're like, yeah, says budget, this card's worth, $20. And I'm like, it was worth $5 when I bought it.
That's true.
So, it was budget.
It was
not my
budget.
fault the price went up. Can't blame me.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yu-Gi-Oh's a funny game like that, though.
It is.
So, what led you to decide to go into a teaching background, if you don't mind me asking?
Just found myself naturally drawn to doing that. For me, it just fit. Okay. And one of my earliest jobs, I was teaching students how to bowl. So,
okay.
And from there, I used that experience to get into my teaching program at my college, and I just kept rolling from there.
Okay. So now you teach for public schools, right?
Huntington Learning Center, we teach. It's like a tutoring center, but we teach everybody. So,
okay.
Public, private. We go from K all the way through adults. So, It's actually pretty awesome.
So you help people, like, say, get their GED and things like that.
Yes.
Okay. That's still good. I mean, there's tons of people that need that.
Yeah, there are.
And let's face it, if public school wasn't such a grueling nightmare, I mean, you probably would have a lot less people that need your services, to be honest.
There's always going to be shortcomings everywhere, and there's always going to be students that might have difficulties learning, so there's always going to be a need for people or a job like mine to be there to help out.
Right. I mean, because it's kind of a tutorial type of thing. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good, though. I mean, it's good that you're helping people learn. I just mean, like, the GED program is just important because I remember going to public school, and it was hellish for me. Like, if my folks would have let me, I'd have taken that GED course in, like, a month and been graduated my freshman year. But they wouldn't let me do it, so it was a nightmare for me. But that's just... that was just my public school experience. When you're a geek and 5'5", people don't tend to be nice to you.
Yeah, that's pretty much the role we got into. So,
yeah. Well, so you live in New York. Have you always lived in New York?
Born and raised.
Born and raised, just like me in Texas. Only I don't have the hat for Texas to be living in Texas.
The hat you have is perfect. So,
yeah. You know what? It's funny that you say that because I've had a lot of people tell me that they think this hat just fits my personality. So I'm like, all right, I'll take that as a compliment. I don't intend to always be wearing it, but eventually, I just did it. The only reason why I've been wearing it lately is because I shaved my head recently, and now I'm waiting for it to grow back to see if I can do anything with it. I don't know if I can or not. I doubt it, but I'll see. So we'll see if, because...
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Although, once it's bad enough, I'm just going to shave it off. I'm just like, no. Never.
Yeah, that would be... Yeah, just waiting for the barbershops to open up here in New York, because...
Oh, yeah.
It's been too long since I've been there, so... It's been getting rough.
Yeah. And you, as somebody who also... I can tell you also suffer with male pattern baldness, so you kind of understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny is there's more Yugitubers that are experiencing that than I thought there was. Like Clowny Knight is also a bald gentleman, so I was like, oh good, it's not just me. It's good to know.
Bound to happen, so.
Yeah, well they do say that what was it? I remember something was telling me that they say 6 out of 10 men experience it, so most men will experience losing their hair at some point. So at least it's good to know that we're not alone. It's annoying, I'm sure, but...
It can be, so...
Yeah, do you ever like look in the mirror and get a little bit frustrated by it? Like you're like, oh man, I should have.
Right now, the only thing I'm frustrated about is not having been to the barber. So.
Oh yeah, so you can make it go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're probably like me in that aspect. You'd rather just not have anything up there than have.
Well, I try to keep it short and trim to make it look a little bit better. So.
Oh, okay. Whereas me, I'm just kind of like, if I can't fix this, I'm just gonna just shave it off completely.
Well, eventually, at some point, I got a feeling that's going to happen with me. So.
Yeah, that's all right. That's when you focus on this.
Yeah.
And it looks to me like you can grow better facial hair than I can. Just saying. Just basing that off the stubble.
Yeah.
It might help you with your dating profiles. Just I don't know if you do online dating or not. I know I have been. So. I've been doing like a Facebook's dating thing, and I've got like 10 different people I'm talking to on there.
Hey, that's not bad. So.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just talk. It's just talk. I'm not like I haven't met anyone like really like sparks my interest yet, but that's all right. I'm not in the middle of a pandemic. I'm not quite in a hurry.
No, you're not. This is the time where you basically just try to figure out what you want.
Yeah.
And if the other people measure up to your standards, so.
Yeah. And after my last girlfriend, trust me, the standards just went up.
Okay then.
Oh yeah, I'll put it this way, like I'm not very picky, like like I've dated big girls, I've dated tiny girls, so like somebody's waist size is irrelevant to me. However, if they're gonna certain things have to match up that haven't matched up for me in the past, like for example politics. Yeah,
that's a dangerous topic right there.
Well, I think you and I are on the same page on that, but I don't know if you're ready to be for the world to know your political leanings.
For those who follow me on Facebook or know me, I'm personally on Facebook. They know where I stand. So
yeah, and I think you and I are pretty much like right there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that if we went to the nitty gritty of it, I'm sure there'd be some policies that I'm like, nope, I'm to the left of you on this, or you're to the right of me on that, or whatever. It would just depend, on the topic, but. Speaking of politics, I don't know if you saw this on Instagram or not. I don't know if you have an Instagram or not, but I went to a Black Lives Matter protest yesterday. So if I look a little red, guys, in the audience, that's why. I'm sunburnt all to hell. And I wore this damn thing because it's the only mask I have. I look like fucking Darth Vader over here.
Darth Vader on vacation.
Yeah, I'm Darth Vader on vacation. Although it didn't feel like a vacation doing that march, and I've got blisters in the back of my ankles the size of quarters. It was awful. So there you go. I did that little march in Granbury, Texas, which is like 30 minutes away from where I live, because it was the closest place that was having a protest. So I was like, oh, I can go there, because if I did it in my small town, I'd probably get shot. I live in Texas. What did you expect?
Yeah, well, as long as things were peaceful, because over here in New York it got rough, really bad. So.
Oh, are you kidding me? That nothing happened at mine. Just a lot of people.
You're lucky. I mean, it was most of the stuff was in the city, but all 5 boroughs in New York City got put into curfew for 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock was the curfew, I think, starting on last Tuesday to I think yesterday, and. That on top of the pandemic didn't really help matters. No. So.
It got so hot because it was like 98 degrees or something yesterday, and I had to like take this thing like off towards the end there because I just couldn't breathe with it on. It was awful, but I'd do it again. Just people need.
As long as that's the one thing. As long as things get changed, that's the important thing. I mean.
Yeah, that was a big topic of conversation yesterday, because we had to. A lot of people were talking about how like, okay, it can't just stop with a march. You gotta like you have to vote. You have to. You
gotta vote. There's got to be policy change right now. I mean, like
pressure politicians, things like that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm hearing what the mayor's planning on doing out of Minneapolis. I mean, he wants to defund the police department. And when you hear the defunding the entire department,
Mm-hmm.
that this is a little too far. I mean, I can understand maybe pushing internal investigations to actually look at different police officers that might have the records that similar records that those police officers that started this have,
Mm-hmm.
and get them off the force. I think that would be a much better.
Well, I think that a lot of people are just like when they say defund. I think what they're just doing is they're really saying is they want to limit the money for it so they can like lower the number of police officers.
It still, it puts a lot of people in danger though, because
I don't know about that, but I mean, right now it's just that the way policing is done, the whole system just doesn't work the way it is. Black people are disproportionately being affected by law enforcement, and that's
that can be everywhere. So
it absolutely is. And it's even in Texas. Like I have seen horror stories of like guys just sitting on their front porch getting shot at by the cops. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to go dark on you there, brother.
No man. But
sign of the times we live in, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I just think it's sad that in 2020 we're still fighting a battle that was supposed to have been won, in the 1960s, 1970s. So I just look and they're like, golly, that fight is still happening to this day. I don't even, at this point, it's hard to, like, I personally am this is probably where I'm to the left of you, because my idea is like, just scrap it all, burn it all to the ground and build it again. I'm alone in that opinion, by the way. I'm not actually advocating for that. I'm just saying, like, that's what I want to do. What I want to do and what I'm going to advocate for are two different things. I'm just saying that right off the front.
That is that's a bit of an extreme, but still.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, like, I want to, like, build the whole new system from the ground up and just, like, no. That system, go away. Here's the new one. You know what I mean? But there's a lot. But it's going to be it's a complicated issue because like everybody just thinks about like the police brutality, and I'm like.
But there's other things. There's socioeconomic aspects of it as well. There's housing, jobs. I mean,
and then there's
a lot more things.
Yeah, and we have like other laws that like shouldn't be laws in the first place that we have to do.
Totally.
Like look at marijuana as an example. Like, look at what Colorado did with marijuana. I mean, they did amazing things. And then, but, like, we're still locking up people for having, enough weed to fill up a thimble. Like, here in Texas, I have a family member who got, like, I want to say, like, 6 months probation or something like that. Where they had to do community service for, like, 6 months for getting caught with enough marijuana to fill up, like, less than a thimble. Like, fit on your pinky. Like, I was like, are you shitting me? It's ridiculous. So, of course, that cousin's particularly not very bright, but, that's all I'm going to say on that one.
Yeah, but...
All right, sorry about that, guys. That was a blip in my machinery. So we're
intermission. Let's go like that.
It was a blip in the matrix.
Intermission.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, we'll talk on some more lighter subjects. I think Bystander doesn't want to talk politics. He wants to. Let's talk some Yu-Gi-Mons. So,
all right.
I've been seeing some new what is that spellcaster archetype? Familiar Possessed archetype. Yeah, I've been seeing some new support for that. Do you think it's any good at all?
I personally haven't taken a look at that deck yet. I gotta check it. See if they've uploaded on Idia Pro yet, because it'd be interesting to see if it can actually work. So I know a lot of people are kind of excited over it. So
yeah, I'm actually not impressed, to be honest. They don't look like they go like, I haven't seen anything that's like a hardcore plus or anything like that. Everything looks very combo oriented. Excuse me.
That's the way Konami's pushing the game. So
yeah, but so if you don't draw your combo piece, you can't really do anything.
Yeah.
That's why I actually have a thing here of cards that are like all like Stratos like cards. So it's like, that's because I was looking through my collection and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are all the cards in the game that add me another card? So like the idea was like by figuring that out, even if they're just this like like for example like with Sniffer Dragon, you just get another Sniffer Dragon. But the idea was like that's how I kind of figure out what kind of decks I should play because you need. I think in this game you have to have a Stratos of some kind.
Yeah, you need to have some sort of searcher, whether it be a monster effect or even spells. I mean,
yeah,
going back to Toons, they had Toon Table of Contents. Now they got the Toon Bookmark. So
yeah,
okay, so and Toon Dark Magician also searches on top of that. So the deck has consistency there. So
yeah. But you also have to be able to plus, and that's the other thing that I think is the other part of it. Like, there's a reason why Pot of Greed, Pot of Extravagance, and Pot of Desires, which all do basically the same thing, are also popular. I mean, they're plus one, and that's the name of the game. I almost think it doesn't really matter what you do as long as it's a cohesive strategy with a way to further your advantage.
Yeah.
And I think that the only thing, and that's going to lead to my next question. So there are certain decks that are, like for example, the way it looks like the Mermail deck is going, where it's very much like, the thing that frustrates me about the way that deck is going right now is its strategy used to be, its whole goal was like, okay, I'm going to take it, if I have to go first, my goal is to take resources from you, so you have less to work with, and then on my turn to OTK, or go second in OTK. Now it looks like that deck's direction is to not only go first and take all away your resources, but also set up a board of negates. So it's like,
it's pretty much the standard for area combo based deck that's coming out right now. And as much as Konami wants to push this deck to be the game to be more monster effect oriented, they gotta try to strike a better balance between that and trap cards, because combo-based decks, it's just removing trap cards from the game, and when you remove a whole type of card out of the game, it just becomes less what it was. I mean, I can understand evolution. It's just that.
Also, like, have you noticed that, like, in the decks that still do play trap cards, they're all like trolly, like Ritual Beast and the multi-faker Altergeist and like they're well, I mean not Eldritch, but that's like a combo slash back row, but
pure Eldritch can do that, so but combo Eldritch can't really that much.
Right, but you see what I'm getting at. Like a lot of these decks that still use trap cards, they have a very trolly kind of vibe. They're like, their whole deck is just, oh, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's the primary reason why they're called floodgates. So I don't mind that, especially if Konami would give us back Harpy's Feather Duster and some back row removal.
Yeah, but they have Lightning Storm now, so they're like, nope, sorry.
They're pushing that. I mean, that's the whole kick, taking cards from the ban list and combining them into a brand new card, and like that 3 treasure cards coming out in August, Pot of Greed, Confiscation, and Change of Heart all in one. I'm like, okay, and then
those cards back then.
Then your opponent has to activate a card effect in order for you to actually be able to use that card. So
yeah, but that's not that hard. It's like, okay, I activate Fossil Dig. Okay, negate with Ash Blossom. All right, activate my Tactical Talents. Do you know how many people rage quitted when I played Tactical Talents? I can't tell you.
I can imagine quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have gotten cussed out for playing it in like the jankiest decks. I played an Inzektor deck, and I had a dude cussing me out for it. Playing good cards in a trash deck, and I'm like, but I'm winning.
Yeah.
And I'm winning with like just a Hornet on the field. I didn't draw the other Inzektors in that particular game, but I was sitting there like,
and you still rage quit. Wow.
Yeah. It
what deck was the other guy playing?
I don't remember. I think it was Zombies or something like that, and I just kept. You know what I mean? I don't remember. I played a bunch of Floodgates, had a bunch of counters like Solemns and things like that. And because I just didn't draw any of my bugs. I just drew all my assistants, is what I look at it. You know, all my helper cards. And then I had the one Hornet, so I just like, okay, I set the Hornet. He tried to do something. Okay, warning. Okay, Solemn. You know, then you activated, I think I activated something like Rhoda or something like that. I don't remember what I played. Maybe it was a long time ago. It was like months ago. Okay, so I've slept since then. I activated something that was like a search card. That's all I remember. It was a Rhoda.
Yeah, an Ash Blossom, and you can activate the other card. And
Yeah, and then he tried to negate it, and I was like, okay. And then I 3 tactical talents, drew more cards. He's just there like, I'm out of here. Screw you, scrub. And I was like, I don't know why you angry, bro. It's just
testing out a new card. I mean, come on.
I mean,
Yeah, that's gonna be a secret rare at least.
oh yeah, absolutely. It's the next
It's a
$100
secret rare,
card.
$78 pre-sales.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing that bothers me about Yu-Gi-Oh! Personally, the way I want to do things is I would make the collector's cards, like Tunes, as an example. Those would be the cards I'd make high rarity because they're collector's cards. They're not really competitively, they're for competitive play per se. And then for the rest of the cards that are like staples, that stuff, in my opinion, should be common, stupid cheap. But the people don't like that when they're. But also, I mean, like, it's a lose-lose, really, because either, like, think about it. When we have good cards that are common, everyone complains about them because everybody uses them.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Parenkatops being the best. Well, I think that was the most recent one, I think.
Yeah, Pancratops, and then before that it was Fairy Tale Snow. So, so there were 2 good common cards right there. And then, and then, of course, everybody complained about them because they were in everything, Or Fairy Tale Snow was unfair, or I can't remember what it was. Like, I still see players who are like, no, you can't have Fairy Tale Snow back. Why? You have Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which does the same thing and does a lot more damage. Essentially. I mean, I mean, I'm just saying.
But then again, Tyranno's not splashable on everything, so...
That's true. But I would just bring it back at 1 and let it be like, you get it, There's a lot of cards that actually, if I had my way, they'd be back at 1 just to watch people be like, because luck sacking's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, I get that because, I like just putting out maybe like Pot of Greed and stuff like that sometimes, just to get the generic +1 because, why not?
Yeah. Or like Max Seed back to 1 just to watch people be like, no!
Oh, I get that every bandless prediction video primarily because I put it back at 3, so... But considering the combo decks that we have in this meta, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Slow them down a little bit, yeah, but
yeah, slow them down.
What the players want and Konami wants seems to be like complete opposites. Konami's like, we're gonna speed this up, and the players are like, no, slow it back down.
It's too fast right now. I mean, we need hard counters. That's why I keep preaching in my bandless prediction videos. Maxi and Skill Drain would be pretty much the 2 best cards to come off the ban list.
Yeah, Skill Drain's at 3 in the OCG. It doesn't do anything. Of course, they also have Harpy's Feather Duster and other things to kind of like mitigate that. They're more.
If we had Harpy's Feather Duster, we would have that too. So
yeah,
it's a cheaper version of Lightning Storm. And hey, if we can get access to our Harpy's Feather Duster, why would we pay $70 for or $100 for Lightning Storm? I mean.
Right, and then of course the quote-unquote good players, as the people who can afford Lightning Storms, they get to have their card, while the rest of us are like, okay, well I have to play a copy of Regeki and a copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. So that'd be the trade-off.
That's a trade-off, but you know what?
So I as the budget player, I have to take up more slots in my deck to play a card that they have to take up less spots for. So that's the interesting trade-off.
It is. But then again, Lightning Storm has its restrictions where you can't have face-up cards. So,
yeah, that's true.
You can drop a Harpy's Feather Duster when you have like a board set and like, boom, deal with that.
Yeah, I would love to do.
Bye back row.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, Toon Chaos does have both Starlight Road and Stardust Dragon in the set as reprints.
Actually, I was talking to Invoked 101 about that. I was saying that, so shout out to Invoked 101. Him and I were talking about... Might be a
signal about something to come, so who knows?
Yeah, him and I were talking about how Stardust and Starlight Road are like hardcore like counters to Lightning Storm, and he was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why it's been reprinted in there. And I'm like, yeah, it's a hardcore counter. It's just
makes me sad. That makes me very happy with all the stack of Starlight Rose I have about that deck. So I have an equally thick stack of Stardust Dragon. So okay.
Actually, I truth be told, like there's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists that I actually like. Like I actually like the first 3.
But most people do, yeah.
Yeah, and then I hate the one I can't stand is what's his name, Yuma from Zexel.
Same brother, same man.
I can't stand him
I
at
can't,
all.
No, man, I can't. I can't stand him either.
I'm gonna high five this guy.
It's not the tagline. It's
the
just the
voice.
fact that he couldn't do a paper bag with help.
Oh
My God, this guy's supposed to be the pro tag. I mean, like,
although truth be told, to be fair, Jaden, if you look at the GX comics, he's not the best player in his universe either. If you look at the GX comics, like
yeah, I've read the manga.
Yeah.
He loses his battles, but not to mention, but I'm not. It isn't that often he loses. So
right.
I think
also I've
he lost maybe like two. I think he only lost like two duels in the manga. I think the first one was against Astro Phoenix, and then the second one was against who's that? The tall guy, the nerdy one.
Do you remember the archetype he played?
In the manga, he was playing the Sealed Beasts, and
The Sealed Beast.
yeah, he was playing Sealed Beast, which is a archetype that I wouldn't mind seeing in.
Is he the professor that becomes a ghost in the anime?
No, it's not. It's not bad. They
It's not
didn't use
Banner.
Banner.
Yeah, it's not Dr. Banner. Okay.
No,
I don't know then.
It was one of the import students for the tournament. He was in the anime. I think he ran Cloudians, I think.
Yeah.
And then later, when they were
Adrian Gecko.
Adrian, that's what. Yeah.
So,
he ran Sealed Beasts, and
but also the manga is interesting because like all the characters that you see in the manga do not play even remotely the same deck they play in the anime, except for Jaden. Jaden's the only one who's pretty close.
Well, yeah, Jaden starts off with the elemental heroes, but they changed the core elemental heroes.
Yeah, like
I mean, I think we see Bubbleman and Wildheart.
Yeah,
Wildheart.
You still see a lot of the original four, even in the manga. It's just that like on top of the original four, they also had Ocean and Woodsman.
Ocean, Woodsman, Stratos.
Yeah.
Although Stratos wasn't like the Stratos we have, I think.
Yeah, and of course, like he played and then of course, one of the other key differences is that Jaden also has a mentor who also play heroes, but he plays the Mask heroes. Jaden plays the Omni Elemental heroes.
Actually,
that's the difference.
The mentor was the one who played the Elemental. Jaden actually inherited his deck.
Yeah.
Started that off, and then he built Mask heroes as his own.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't the other guy who played Mask Heroes.
But if Jaden would have mashed those two decks together, he would have been unstoppable. So
yeah, and of course I think Zane.
The acid combination with Absolute Zero was enough to win games.
I know that Chaz was primarily a dragon duelist. He played dragons. Yeah. I know that Zane is relatively the same. I think he still plays
Cyber Dragons.
Yeah, he didn't change at all.
He just had a new support to him.
Yeah, he just had a
Which
kind
took
of
forever for us to get.
Yeah, I don't know. GX is a very interesting one though. Like even though there's discrepancies between it and the manga, but I think they're all like that. I think even 5Ds is a little different. Like technically, Stardust Spark Dragon is manga Yusei's primary dragon.
It is.
So even though and Stardust and Spark Dragon don't really have that different of an effect, really. It's just Stardust leaves the field. That's the difference.
Yeah. And Spark can protect a single card, so...
You know what, I wish there was we were talking earlier about, like, floodgates. You know what I think is funny is, like, the Stardust Spark combo with, Dragon's Bind.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but it only works if your opponent isn't playing anything that can play anything bigger. Like, for example, if I was up against a Burning Abyss player, they'd get frustrated and quit. But if I was up against a Mech Knight player, they're just going to point and laugh at me like, okay. So, or a Danger player, because they're going to get lucky and ditch Bigfoot or something.
Yep.
And I'll be like, well, fuck me running. Shoot. So, Bystander, you really should, I think it would be kind of fun for you to just for one time, to find a way to, like, do a new war thing for your channel. I think it'd be hilarious. Just one time. You like
what?
Like for example, like, because, all right, so in Windows Movie Maker, there's a way you can make everything black and white. like in the old school movies.
Noir. Okay.
Yeah, so like it'd be really funny if you did like a skit with like the hat and the jacket or whatever, and then you like turned around and be like, "You want me to investigate this deck, see?" You know what I mean? Well, maybe not smoke a cigarette. Maybe you have like I don't know, you know, a piece of candy or something. You know?
Yeah, it'll be like a lollipop or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just man like, or even
It'll be an interesting skit. Interestingly enough, when I was doing my Cosmo deck that I posted May 4th for Star Wars Day, I went back and forth for doing a bit of this skit because one of my cosplays I do for cons is actually a Grey Jedi. So
okay.
it's going to get dressed up, do a whole little bit, film that, maybe like straight on the other planet and stuff like that about how to combat the Empire using these papers to summon creatures and stuff like that.
That would be interesting.
That I was really thinking about doing that, and then I think the deck is more than enough because Star Wars Day, big day. I mean,
oh yeah. I did a joke with it recently in the last one. I think I was all like, "Do you have one in green?" I think I posted that on Instagram too. Like that's basically all I do on Instagram on my own channel is like promote my YouTube channel and post Yu-Gi-Oh memes. That's literally all I do on Instagram. I'm just a clown. It's like literally my whole goal is just to make people giggle. It's like everything I do. But I'm just saying, like, I think it'd be kind of funny if like you did like a whole like detective episode, like, well, I'll show you if this deck's any good. Yeah, see. I'm just sorry. I just think it would be pretty funny. You don't have to do that for the record. I just pictured you doing it and got a giggle out of it.
well, it might be interesting to play around with in my head, but
you know, one thing I would love to, I gotta figure out how to do this. One of the things I want to do is like, there's tons of special effects I would love to do for my skits, like, and I think I already do pretty good for the fact that I use Movie Maker and PowerPoint. Like that's literally all I'm using. I'm using programs that came with my machine. A little bit of like a website called Pixlr. It's basically Photoshop but online. So basically I upload the picture, I cut it down to a PNG, download it back. That's how I make all my thumbnails. And but one other thing I was going to say is like one of the things I would love to do is like when I'm doing like a test your deck thing, I would love to do like have an explosion happen or something and then like me going with smoke, but I still for the life of me can't figure out how to do that. I think it'd be hilarious though. I was just like, oh god.
I know you put out post about test your decks on your Facebook groups, and I know I contributed it as always. So
yeah, thank you for that, by the way, and for like also following instructions. I was like, Owen, if you're watching this, follow instructions. He just commented the deck he wanted me to do.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm like, he's not gonna do that.
I'm like, R2, if I was a Jedi, I would force choke you right now. Do you feel it? Right now he's somewhere going, he's probably asleep in England having a nightmare right now. Oh!
I personally wouldn't go the force choke rogue.
I would.
I shouldn't go Spaceballs route, you know.
I can't have superpowers. I would get into trouble.
Oh, same. So.
I just know me. Like I would get into trouble. I would be. Oh yeah, absolutely. If I got superpowers tomorrow, I am labeled a terrorist in a week, and I won't even have killed anybody.
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah. I imagine like yeah. Just be honest. They'd be like, you're a horrible person. I'm like.
Yep, going full Deadpool.
In my case, I wouldn't even have killed anybody. I just inconvenience people. Like, for example, all those riot cops would all of a sudden blink and they'd be standing there in their underwear. And I'd be like, how did that happen?
Oh, boy.
Depending on what superpower I have. Oh, there you are. I thought for a second I lost you. I was about to be like, don't you do it.
Don't scare me like that.
I was about to be like...
don't put a fish through the computer screen. That's never a good thing.
Yeah, I just like that'd be.
Konami already gives us enough reason to do that. We're Yu-Gi-Oh players, so we don't need another.
Yeah, you're about to see me just start smashing the machine. Just, mother. Sometimes I wish I was like the Fonz, where I could just slap a machine and it just works. Like, that would be a useful superpower.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that one would be like, that would be one that wouldn't get me into trouble. I just slap a machine and it works the way it's supposed to. Oh, yeah? Yeah, you don't want to work TV? Whack! Smack some sense into it.
And then you get all the good channels.
And then I what?
But then you get all the good channels.
Yeah, then... That depends what kind of good channels we're talking here, you know. I could frequent the Playboy channel. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. The audience out there is going, wow! But thank you.
That's my superpower, to take things in that direction, so...
You know, I don't know. Is that what you're saying? You would pick your superpower to be something in that direction?
No, I already have that ability to do that, so...
Okay.
All I really need is the Deadpool healing factor, and that'd be good, so...
Yeah, because you do all sorts of crazy crap, like things that would, like, normally hurt you. Like, things would hurt, but, like, nobody could, like, really cuff you or anything, because you could just, like, okay, I'll just pull Wolverine and just... And, like, I'm just not going to care if it hurts like hell or breaks anything, because it's going to just snap right back in 2 seconds.
Pretty much.
Just, gah! Well, that was dumb. And they're like, the cop would be sitting there like...
Do you have something else?
Shoot him! And then, of course, you know me, I'd end up being like Jim Carrey version of it. Owie! And, you know, yelling things like, somebody stop me!
Oh, I keep seeing that one meme of Deadpool about to put on the mask. And I'm filled with fear.
You're filled with fear?
Yeah. Because that combination is not a good thing.
Of Deadpool putting on the mask?
Yeah. The mask from Jim Carrey's...
Okay, that mask. Okay. Yeah, talk about somebody who would be godlike. Like,
and then the most recent version of that is Deadpool's actually wearing the Venom symbiote on top of that. I'm like,
it's GG, bro. It's GG. Whatever he's punching is already dead. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thanos would be like, Uncle! Oh, goodness. That would be hilarious. Did you ever see the death battle, like with Screw Attack, where they did Deadpool versus the Mask?
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. No, I've seen the one where it was Deadpool versus Deathstroke. So
yeah, they did the Deadpool versus the Mask, which obvious was like, you know, spoilers. Spoiler alert. Obviously, the Mask was going to win this one. He literally warps reality. That's how he does everything he does. So it's like, how did Deadpool stand a chance? Like,
poor Deadpool.
Yeah, I know, right? And of course, it turned out it was more of a gag episode, but that's all right.
Yeah, no.
They were all like, "We killed Deadpool. We knew this was overkill." Yeah, there was all like, it was a whole like bit with Wiz and Boomstick. So yeah, I've actually been wanting to get back into doing my death battles, like on my Geek channel. I just haven't in a while. I haven't found the way that I want the right way to do it, because obviously I can't do an animation, but I've got to find a entertaining route to take with it. I just haven't found that niche yet. But my Netflix reviews, everybody seems to be liking that. Those are constantly getting like 100+ views.
That's good.
Yeah, so I don't.
That is good.
Which is weird. Like, why? It's like, I do no editing. You know what I do? I watch the show. I'm dog tired by the time I'm reviewing it. Because, like, I literally will watch the whole show or the whole season or whatever it is. I review it, and you can tell I'm exhausted because I've sat there for fucking 8+ hours. Just
enjoying yourself, and like,
I wouldn't call it enjoyment. Most of the shows don't get interesting till halfway through.
I don't know. I mean, the last thing that really caught everybody's attention on Netflix was them releasing the entire first Avatar season. So
yeah, well, they released the whole Airbender saga on there, and I reviewed that. Which that didn't get a lot of views, but I wasn't surprised about that one because like everybody's seen The Last Airbender at this point. So
yeah, I came into the series when they were actually doing the re-airs with the pop-up information.
Yeah,
that's when I came in and I'm like, all right, this series looks awesome.
I
hope. Then I got to the end of the third season. I'm like, wait, that they ended it.
I hope that
where's Zuko's mom? They actually continued and wrapped up that arc in the comic book. So, all right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, like, I'd rather it be in a show, but hey, at least there's some media that will explain it. So, the one thing that I'm actually hoping for is that Netflix will get Legend of Korra soon, because I'm actually
Yeah,
interested in it.
I'm crossing my fingers because Nickelodeon did that series of serious disservice.
Oh yeah, you think that Nickelodeon did Legend of Korra
The
bad?
first season they advertised it right, but when it got to the second and final seasons, they didn't do any advertising at all. They moved it to a different network, and then all of a sudden it just was online all the time. And no,
I also know that
that
there
was,
was a
in my opinion, it was just a really bad disservice to the series. It was a great animated series. It was better storyline in my opinion because the first Avatar series was a little bit more episodic.
little bit of like the problem of the day type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course I take it. The thing about Legend of Korra that I knew about, because I didn't really get to watch the series because I didn't have cable at the time. So the thing that I knew about was that because I knew that like it was all over the news everywhere, was that they made her a bisexual woman, and it like
Yeah, that was at the end. That was at the end. That was right at the end of the series, and yeah,
and I knew that a lot of people had a problem with that, and I was like, I don't see
a lot of people didn't really see it coming,
Yeah, I think,
and it was just it wasn't like they prepared us for it, like
Yeah.
giving us hints here and there and stuff like that.
oh, okay, so that was
It
the
was
issue.
it was just like right at the end, and like
Okay, so maybe I missed. Well, I just saw all the homophobic stuff online, so that's kind of what I was like.
I mean,
Like even
I
Fox
watched.
News covered it. Can you believe that? Yeah. How bad is it when Fox News covers the story, man? Oh man, the comment section in that was a cesspool.
Oh yeah, so no.
And then of course, I also saw that like the Batman getting married to Catwoman thing made it to Fox News, which I think is interesting that even happened.
I think that's the main universe as well.
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely like, but they were married for like no time at all. Like legitimately, they were married and then they were unmarried because and Fox News spoiled the story. They basically said the reason why Catwoman didn't stay married to Batman just because they were afraid he wouldn't stay Batman.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was her.
That is actually interesting.
Yeah, that was her. That was her reasoning for not staying married, because she was afraid he wouldn't stay back. He wouldn't keep being Batman if he was happy.
So he was more in love with the bat than the actual guy wearing the suit.
Yeah,
That kind of makes sense.
You know what I was rooting for? I was just rooting for a crime-fighting Bat family. That's really what I was rooting for. I was like,
Well,
let
he kinda
Batman
got that
have a
whole-
win, Jesus. If the Flash and Superman can have it, why can't the Bat? Come on. Give Batman a freaking win.
But then Catwoman not staying with Batman because she was afraid he wouldn't be Batman. That kind of harkens back to the 1980s with Black Cat and Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
So she was more in love with Spidey and not Peter. And
There's a. Did you ever see the new? There was a. Not New 52. The Ultimate Universe for Marvel. Spider-Man and Catwoman had a kiss, and then she finds out he's like 15, and she vomits. She literally's like, "Wait, you're a teenager?" Oh god,
Yeah.
I cracked up so hard. I was sitting there like. Of course, she's like 20. You know what I mean? She's not too much older than he is, but it was enough for her to be like, "Nah."
oh wow,
It's not like she did anything with him. You know what I mean? She didn't
No.
like caress him or anything. She just gave him a kiss. Found out he was young and like vomited.
yeah. Well, the Spider-Man writers are still toying around with the whole Spidey Black Cat thing. So
Yeah, I think they're they're closer in age now in the modern story. It's just in the alternative Ultimate Universe, they made them a considerable difference in age. But also the Ultimate Universe has done a lot of weird things. Like they made Thor an environmentalist. They made Captain America very more militaristic than he normally is. So he's kind of an asshole. The other thing that they did is that they never fixed Tony's drinking problem, or like he never got over that. basically.
No, so that's going to be a constant through all universes. That's all right.
Yeah, in the Ultimate Universe, yeah. Oh, also they made Quicksilver and Wanda have like an incestuous relationship. So there's a reason the Ultimate Universe didn't stick around. That's all I'm saying.
No wonder they just destroyed that planet.
Yeah. Like, gee, I wonder why that universe disappeared.
That universe and Earth 616 collided.
Yeah, they took I think they took some characters from the Ultimate Universe and kept them, but they definitely didn't take.
Yeah, Miles Morales. I know he's still around. He was from the Ultimate.
Yeah, and Miles. I like Miles. I actually don't.
Miles is cool. Yeah.
I actually don't mind that they make like new versions of superheroes that kind of share like the same identity. Like that doesn't bother me in the slightest. Like I think there can be more than one Captain America. There can be more than one Spider-Man. Though that doesn't bother me at all.
No.
There are things that I do miss that they don't do anymore. Like I missed Flash Thompson as Venom, Agent Venom.
Well, they killed that series off with impunity, though. So.
I know, and they completely killed off Flash Thompson, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead, but he was my favorite Venom. He literally was. I was like, wow, that's
Agent Venom was very interesting. I can tell you that right now.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I do like how they what Marvel does is that they looked at the comics and they started taking things and they started incorporating into the animated series because I think there was that one Ultimate Spider-Man television series that was on the Disney that was actually very good. They actually did a Spider-Verse version of that in that series, and that I actually like because you got to see Spider-Man 2099 because you got to see Spider-Man Noir.
We also got to see Gwen Stacy, Spider-Woman.
Spider-Girl or
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen. They call them Spider-Ghost now, so...
Yeah, but the point is like there was tons of these like really interesting alternative spider heroes.
Yeah.
The other thing that but I was gonna say that one of my next questions is like you're kind of an all around geek. Like you don't just like Yu-Gi-Oh, you kind of like it all, like Star Wars, Marvel, DC, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm a bit more on the Marvel side than I'm on DC. I like a few characters out of DC. Batman's one of my favorites, so.
I'm not surprised. A lot of people like Batman.
He's the epitome of a trained and well-educated mind and a very trained body, so he doesn't need superpowers. He just basically gets things done.
What are you talking about? His superpower is money. Him and Iron Man.
Oh yeah, there's that one gif where they're flinging the dollars at each other, fighting each other.
And Spider-Man's like picking it up off the ground.
Yeah, that's their death battle right there. For me, instead of having Spider-Man pick up the money, you have Deadpool. So
yeah, Deadpool's like stabbing it with his swords and like. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you guys don't need it, there was speaking of like death battles and stuff. Like I feel sorry for Batman. He is the worst character in death battles because the thing about death battle is one of the rules is there's no prep time.
Yeah.
And. And that's Batman's whole thing. Like his whole thing is like, I'm prepared to fight you in 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then but that poor guy, like I mean, he's got a win. He beat Captain America, which makes a little bit of sense because they're basically the same. It's just Batman has like better tools, and better combat training. That's it. But if it was like a strictly like no holds bar, no weapons. I'm still convinced.
Cap would have went the floor at Batman, so...
Yeah, I'm still convinced, because like one of the things they said the reason why is because Batman had a better arsenal.
Yeah, Batman does have a better arsenal, and that's kind of why I like him, because he's always got that right tool.
You're right. Well, and Captain America's no slouch, but let's face it, like his weapons are a shield and a pistol primarily. If he gets the pistol, you know what I mean.
If he gets the pistol,
he doesn't always get the pistol, but I think for that for Death Battle they usually give him the pistol anyway because it was a weapon he used in World War II primarily. Which, why would you go like as strong as Captain America is? I don't know why he would pick a pistol when he could hold a rifle with one hand and not move. Like literally, you could put a guy with the most modern machine gun in one hand, and he could just... And he wouldn't move where everybody else is going.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm a clown. That's all right though. That's why people watch me, because that's the antics they want to see anyway. Also, like every time I do a skit, I always end up getting hurt somehow. I don't know, like literally, like for real. Like I cannot tell you how many times I have fallen on my knee or an ankle or fell down. I was like, oh my god, I'm a.
Now I feel guilty about making you do that dinosaur thing.
Well, sometimes I do it. Like I try to do something on purpose where I fall, and then like because I'm kind of a clumsy guy, you know, I'll fall again trying to get back up. Or something.
Oh my god.
Well, like all right, so there's this one skit. I think it's the one where I'm like trying to be cool or something. I'm walking towards the door in my room, and I'm trying to have like this cool epic moment, and I literally tripped, and I was like, well, it's funny, so I just left it in because I was like, I'm okay. I think it was the one I did with Yugi No, where I was up against the Shadal monster. Oh man, I'm telling you, by the time my channel is done and over with, there will be a whole like Ben 10K lore centered around my Yu-Gi-Oh character.
Oh, there better be.
Oh man, like having like I've had, let's see here, if we go to the lore of the Ben 10,000 YGO, I've had Bigfoot as a roommate. My mother is Athena, the Yu-Gi-Oh monster. I have 3 pet raptors. So there you go. That's a good start.
3 pet raptors. I only counted 2 last time. It was Sheila and Blue.
Yeah. So we haven't gone over Frank yet.
Oh, Frank. Oh my god.
I think I'm funny. Of course, we also have done the best one that I did with the Raptors bit, though, was the last one where I was all like, "That's not a chew toy."
I know. When I saw that, I'm like, bravo.
That was hard to do, by the way, because I had to I didn't have anyone to pull me, so I just had to shuffle myself. That's how I got off the camera. It was very hard to do, and I had to do it quick, so you would look like I was being pulled off. I think I pulled it off enough. And then, of course,
was a great skate.
Yeah, and then the part where I'm being where you just see me going, ah! You know what I mean? That's literally just me using camera angles and sound effects. Oh man. But so you mentioned you like Marvel more than DC. What's the reasoning behind that? Is there do you prefer the more realistic storytelling with Marvel as opposed to DC?
Yeah, with it I just find that sometimes the characters in DC just don't have the limits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're looking at characters like Superman, they do anything that the writers can want them to do, and it's I want my characters to have their limits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's okay if they can overcome limits. It's just that they need to be bound more. And the realistic storytelling of Marvel really does resonate a little bit more because Marvel's New York, and born and raised in New York, so you got to represent. So Spidey's from Queens, I'm from Queens, so
now we know the truth. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say, actually, you're not the only Yugituber that I've spoken to that's from the New York state. I know that MBT and Davinator are both in the same state as you. I don't know if they live in the same area, obviously, but but that'd be kind of funny if you were walking down the street and you're like, "Hey, I know those guys."
They look familiar.
I'm sure you
They probably wouldn't recognize me, though.
No, but you don't really show your face all that much on your own channel, so you should probably change that. Just
that's something I'm working on getting certain pieces to try to do that and figuring out how to coordinate that online because I want to include my facial reactions when I'm doing my bandless reviews because I think that's a little bit better. So
I was gonna ask a question about it, but this is one because we were talking about that heavier topic earlier. How do you think if you could to take a guess, how do you think the Marvel superheroes would handle what's happening out there in the world right now? If you were to take a guess.
Well, let's see. They've tried it with the Unity Squad, where you had the Inhumans, the X-Men, as well as the other superpower Avengers coming together and doing that work. Mm-hmm. I know they've addressed this particular heavier topic, in the X-Men a whole lot, so that's that thing. So, I mean, it isn't an easy cut and dry topic to cover. It's just that you look at these people, they come from different backgrounds. They come from different livelihoods, races, and stuff like that. They've had different lives. But when all is said and done, when the job needs to get done, they put that stuff aside and they just do what needs to be done.
So,
I think a lot of people need to just take that example, and it's like, it doesn't matter what race, religion, background you have. There's a job to be done, get it done.
But I was gonna say is, do you feel like I can only speak for me personally, but like I feel like if I had Spider-Man's powers, second I saw a gas canister getting thrown by the cops at up protesters, I'd be like, nope, that's going in the sky. You know what I mean? Somewhere else. That's how I would handle it. I can't speak for every superhero. I just kind of figured, like, how do you think that I feel like a lot of the Marvel superheroes would be like making a line between the protesters and the police, and obviously most of them would probably be fast enough to go, no, you're not throwing a brick, dummy. No.
Yeah.
If I was to take a guess, they probably would stop. They would probably say, no, you're not throwing bricks. We're not to that point yet.
Yeah, and I would see that they'll probably try to do something coordinated to try to stop the unrest. So,
do you feel like they'd be like superheroes would be fighting each other, kind of like a Civil War type situation? I mean,
this does have the making for a third Civil War in Marvel Universe, and I don't think the Marvel Universe can handle a third Civil War. So,
do you really think Marvel would do that on the police brutality topic? I think that'd be kind of interesting. I think that'd be more interesting.
It might
story.
be interesting if they do cover it. I mean, it would be interesting, especially more
like what superheroes would be on what side, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't know, with the way Iron Man and Captain America are, like I almost feel like they'd be on the same side on this one. But
I got a feeling there will be a lot more people on one side. I think it's on the side of doing things lawfully.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's okay to protest, but when you cross that line, start attacking other people or breaking into places.
So yeah, so superheroes would be. So you feel like, so realistically, maybe superheroes would be kind of stuck in the middle somewhere. Like they have to stop the protesters from crossing the line between protester and rioter, but at the same time, they can't just let
do the same thing with the police. Yes.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, exactly. They can't, but they can't just let the cops lose their cool and throw, pepper spray bombs and things like that at people. So it'd be, that would be a really nightmarish situation to be in. I feel like as a superhero,
it would,
because like. You know what I mean? Because you are a symbol of justice, and let's face it, when it comes to justice, sometimes the bad guy looks like the guy who's supposed to be enforcing the justice. Yeah. And I think, and that's another, on that topic, I think that's the reason why people are so angry. Like, I've seen a lot of people try to say, like, oh, you never talk about black on black crime. But see, here's the thing. When a person who is a criminal is a black person, and they are hurting another black person, they're a criminal. You expect them to do that. You know what I mean? That's why people are angry, because the cops are not supposed to act like criminals. That's what my issue with it is I look at the police and I said, no, you're supposed to be a hero, and nothing you're doing right now is heroic.
Uphold the law. You're sworn.
Protect and serve.
Yeah, it's a serve. You're not supposed to be going vigilante and like this and
instead it's like oh, they're protecting and serving all right, but they're not protecting and serving the average Joe. It's it's not good. It's not good.
No, it's not.
And it's like, but to bring it back to the Marvel thing, I feel like it would be really hard for a superhero to be in that situation, which might make it for really good storytelling. Hey, Marvel, hit me up. I wish, right?
I wouldn't be shocked if Marvel tried to actually do something with this. I know they have addressed certain events.
Well, I know, in Captain America, when they had Sam Wilson Cap, they kind of touched on it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But they didn't really go deep into it, and I would like to read that whole deep story, because comic books are a good place to change people's minds. Yes. I think, especially because the comic books are also very subtle about it. Like, instead of black people, they used X-Men back in the 90s.
Yeah, the mutants, right? Yes.
Which was an easy way to do that. And
it was.
But there are a lot of black superheroes now, so I would, so there's a lot of ways now we could just tell a story with that superhero flip to it, without the need to make a symbolism for it, because there's tons of and plus it would be a really good way to tell some really good African American superhero stories. Like, not just with Black Panther. I mean, like, think about Luke Cage or Falcon. Like there's tons more that I'm probably not thinking of. Like Storm could have a whole background, even because she's she's an African American superhero.
African American mutant, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be.
So she's got double the hatred on her. That poor woman. Oh golly, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. I hate the hate. Does that make any sense? I think that makes sense. Oh man, but yeah, I'm like, and then there's tons more that I'm pretty sure I'm not thinking about because like, how could you name off every superhero?
Yeah, because there's always a lot.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure even you have your top 10, and they probably look completely different from mine. I guess you could although mine could be just 10 and 1.
Gee, I wonder where you got that from.
No idea. I was like, it's just funny that because another reason why I should do the whole Ben 10 thing is because I have like 10 different decks too. They're like primary decks that I'm working on, so all the time. So it's like, oh, look at that. Someday I should like pick up a pencil and a pen again and try to draw it out. It'd be kind of fun to see an anime version of me. I haven't drawn in a long time.
It would be cool to see like a different version of you representing each deck.
Yeah, like have the monsters like standing next to me, or cartoon-wise version of it or something.
Like if you were playing Blue Eyes, you would have like a Blue Eyes and you'd be dressed like Kaiba or something like that.
Yeah. Be like that episode of Capsule Monsters with like the dual armor or something.
Oh, that
was an entertaining arc. It's too bad we never got a Capsule Monsters game though. I think we got a video game, but
we got a video game. I think we got the video game. I don't think we got the physical game.
Yeah, the board game. Which I don't even know how you would do that, to be honest. Like, just to be realistic. Like,
I was looking at the rules that you were explaining in the arc. I'm like, could you do this in physical card game? That's the question.
Yeah.
In the physical game. I know they had in the original 7 volumes of Yu-Gi-Oh! They did have Capsule Monsters, but it wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh! Related.
Yeah, they weren't connected to Duel Monsters at all.
They weren't connected to Duel Monsters at all. They had their own rules and stuff like that. So it is interesting.
Yeah, and I know there's also an arc where like the Spirit of the Ring like traps everybody inside of a capsule monster, just like that one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they do it with cards. Everybody gets trapped in their favorite card. Man, that would suck because I'd get in like my soul would get split up into like 10 different cards. I'd be like, well, good luck freeing me, guys. I'm stuck in a lot of places. Oh man, I would hate that because then the personality of each fractured soul would be different and weird.
Yeah, now we're going into Arc V territory.
Arc V, I like Arc V, but I like Arc V because I like the concept of entertainment, kind of being like an entertainment duelist. So, which I think a lot of Yugitubers can relate to that because that's primarily what we're doing, is we're entertainment.
I remember I tried doing that as an intro to one of my Odd Eyes decks.
Oh, welcome duelist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, welcome duelist.
I have not.
I tried using his taglines and stuff like that. I'm like,
yeah, I just need the red jacket and a top hat. Go full Panic at the Disco over there.
No. Not going that far.
I would if I was as handsome as Brendan Urie. My God, that dude! Every guy wants to look like that guy. Just saying. I want to look like Brendan Urie. I'm just saying. If I could look like that dude, I would be like set for life. You know who I'm talking about, though, right? Yeah. Okay, just making sure I wasn't like just talking nonsense.
No. I'm sure about that.
I'm just saying, man, that guy is. Let's face it. I might be a straight dude, but even I gotta go. That guy's a good-looking guy. I wish I looked like that. That's how I feel about it. But like, I don't know. It's just. I wish I had his hair more than anything.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I'm like looking at another guy, like that's the hair I want.
Yeah. And unfortunately for us, the only way we can have hair like that now is fake hair. Which is
or spending money on replacement and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's all expensive. Like, you either got to buy drugs or you got to buy You know what I mean? And I don't. And the thing about like the hair grow drugs is like there's no guarantee they'll work. They'll have to wait 6 months to see if they even work.
No guarantee they'll work, and there's this chance you might get cancer because a lot of them could cause cancer.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, spend $50 to grow your hair, and now you grow a tumor, and you're spending the rest of your money to get rid of the tumor. So, I'd rather go bald.
Just yeah. I personally think I might go the fake hair route, but we'll see. If they ever find a way to like just put it in my head, I make this horrible joke, but
I think it's Bosley then.
Huh? Say what?
I think that's Bosley.
Yeah. If there was a way to do it with like just maybe not take it from the back. I mean, I got enough hair in the rest of my body; they can take it. I don't need hair on my arms. Just put it right here. Thank you. I'm here all night, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody will be watching this video tomorrow and laughing their ass off. Oh golly. That's okay though. That's kind of half the point of these conversations is to get a good vibe. I think you understand my sense of humor
yeah.
too. So, how long have we been conversing for? I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know
we're all right. We're good. So.
Okay, you're not in a hurry.
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like keeping you up or anything because I'm a vampire. Let's face it. Like if I primarily sleep in the early morning hours / day, and then I'm up in the afternoon because although I'm minus all the cool things that would make a vampire a vampire. Like I don't get to be sexy and have fangs. I wish I'd have more subs if I did.
Well, let's see. If I was a vampire, I would just be thankful I wouldn't sparkle in the sunlight. So.
You know what? I'll take the sparkles too if that's what it took to look like Robert Pattinson. I'll put up with it, shit, at this point. Oh, that'd be weird.
As long as they put a joke about sparkling vampires in the next Batman movie, I'll be happy.
Oh, God, that'd be hilarious. Could you imagine?
Yes.
Although, I will say this. I have seen interviews where Robert Pattinson, like, dogs on Twilight more than anyone can ever dog on Twilight. That guy probably has been the guy who wrote most of the jokes. I would be willing to bet money on it. Like, somebody, if we could find Robert Pattinson, like, private messages he's had with people during the making of these movies, oh yeah.
Man.
You would be able to trace it all the way back to a popular Twilight meme. I bet you he's the one who made up half of them. Because I can tell you, like, in other interviews, he hates it. You can tell.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And I get it. Because I think I had this conversation with Master Swag King about the Twilight movies, because I obviously have the books behind me, because I've read them. They were a gift. So I was like, okay, well, I've got them. I'm going to read them. So, long story short, for the audience that doesn't know, in high school, like 90% of my friends were female. They were raving about the books, so I read the books so I could understand what they were talking about. And then, of course, my grandmother saw me reading them, so she bought them all for me as a gift, and I've just had them ever since. So, they're not bad books, but there's definitely some changes. I would have gone a different route in certain things. So what I was saying, to bring it back to the Master Swag King thing, what I was talking about with him was the difference I would have gone is instead of them sparkling, she just didn't want them to burst into flames in the sunlight. I would have made their vampire features pop out more, and let them be stereotypical vampire features, like they look fairly human without any light on. Yes, like they can't hide their fangs, their ears get pointed, their nails get long and clawy. Like maybe that stuff can't be hidden in the sunlight. So let's face it, if you saw some dude with nails sharp enough to be knives, and his eyeballs were red and looked like a cat, and he had fangs, all the way down to his chin, and ears pointed like an elf, especially if he just looked normal for a second, then the sun hit him, and you'd be like, ah! Yeah. That would still be enough to like, oh, that guy's not normal. I need to go.
Yeah.
And that's how I would have gone the route. I would have just made the vampire features be unhideable. Or, like, I would have mixed it maybe and made the vampire features maybe more like, did you ever watch Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I would have done that.
I've watched both series, yes.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. I would have gone that route with it. Like, that's what he would look like when the sun hit him. Because that would be the best way to go.
Yeah.
Because then, like, you still get the whole, like, oh, I'm a monster, don't look at me. Get that whole mysterious thing.
Yeah.
Also, like, the other thing I get a little bit annoyed with the Twilight thing is, like, everyone judges him for being like, what is it, like creepy? And I'm like, he's a fucking vampire. What'd you expect? Of course he's fucking creepy.
Yeah, predator instincts and all. So
I mean, like, that's like expecting like, yeah, exactly. He's literally a monster trying not to be a monster. What did you expect? I mean, of course he's gonna have creepy tendencies. He's a bloodsucker. I mean, that's like asking Beast not to shed on the carpet. From the X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
Alright. Alright.
So did you get your sister a Spank Me Konami t-shirt too? Because I swore I saw that.
No, that was something different. So.
Oh, I thought
She would not wear this.
She would not wear this?
No.
Yo, your sister's not into geek stuff at all, is she?
Marvel and her. She's into Marvel and Marvel. She's also big on Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
So
she's got a little bit of it, but she's not as far as like you or I.
no, she can hold her own in the conversation about Marvel. So
Okay.
I'm proud of her about that. So
Okay.
she's slowly learning Star Wars.
Slowly.
Yes, slowly.
Yeah, I have a sister and a brother that are like closer to my age. And I'm like the oldest of like, I don't know, I think 6 altogether. I have 2 separate sets of parents to
All
explain that. So like, I have step siblings and half siblings in that too. So
Okay, makes sense.
So, but the brother and sister that are right behind me in age, yeah, we're all kind of geeky. Like my brother, watches all the sci-fi movies and all that stuff. I mean, he's also a big sports fan and all that stuff too. But that's where he loses me. But that I die. You know what I mean? Like, we'll watch Star Wars and we'll watch Marvel movies together. But then I go Yu-Gi-Oh, he goes football. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
My sister behind us in age is the exact same way. It's just like, like we used to watch The Flash together and Supernatural on TV together like every week, and then then she got married and moved out. So, but then of course it came to other things, like she prefers like the Vampire Diaries, and I'm like, no thanks, I'm gonna go play Yu-Gi-Oh. I've seen it. It's an okay show. It just doesn't keep my attention. It's too dramatic to keep my attention. Although I did like some of the storytelling elements there. Like they had a thing where they had a daylight ring. That's how vampires walked around in the daytime, which I thought that was a very unique way to do things.
Yeah.
So do you do anything like writing or anything like that? Like, do you write your own stories or anything?
Sometimes it's mostly fanfic stuff, and don't do it that often.
Okay.
But if the moment strikes me and I have to get an idea down paper or just type it out, and like I will type it out. So.
Okay. Well, I'm also a Amazon author, so I just kind of like. I think I've mentioned that to you. Yeah.
Yeah, just once or twice. So.
Yeah, I try not to bring it up too much because like I have dyslexia, so like that's why I don't really advertise it that much, because I know anyone who reads it is gonna have to put up with that. I have a mild case of it, so like it's mostly like small words, like the and might be spelled wrong, or like the word is and it might be missing or something. So it's like it can be very frustrating to read my book. So that's why I don't really advertise it all that much. But I just kind of wondered if you were also a writer, since you like all this fantasy.
It's mostly for personal stuff and like that. I don't really share it.
Oh, okay. So it's more like you're just kind of cool stories that you wish you were writing.
Yeah.
Do you ever have you ever thought about trying to like publish anything of your own?
Played around with it a few times, but with the publisher costs at times, certain publishers they charge a lot of money to do that. So.
Or you have to do it all on your own, on like a self-publication type of thing.
Yeah, self-publication, and it's just.
Yeah, and then you have to advertise it all on your own. It's a headache. It's a headache. I would know. I wrote a book, published it on Amazon myself, and the best thing anyone can do to help me on that front is just to leave a review. That's all I can ask. And I know there's a few people that have read the book and they say they like it. They just point out that, oh yeah, you're dyslexic, so that explains why that's written that way. And I'm like, I don't have money to pay an editor. Editors are expensive.
They are.
I got an estimate for an editor once, and they told me they wanted $900, and my jaw hit the floor. I was like, no, I know.
Yeah, I think the prices were like something like in the thousands for them to actually buy the rights to your book, to publish it and stuff like that, with editors and everything. It's like yeah, you would have to buy that money. Could be going to buy a house, and you don't even know that the book's worth.
Yeah, and then there could be other costs. Like that's why I went with Amazon, because they can, you know what I mean, because they just print a book as people order it. They don't have like a stockpile of my book at their warehouse. They just, oh, somebody wants this book, okay, print it off, and then they print it off and somebody buys it. You know, like, and I like that. That's what I liked about that system. But the trade-off is just to have an editor, somebody to edit your book so they can fix all the errors and things like that, or make creative changes to it that make sense. Like, for example, like somebody gave me their critique that they would have split chapter 1 into 2 chapters. So chapter 1 would be shorter, and then all the other subsequent chapters would change number. But and that's the thing that an editor would help with in that aspect. But I don't have the money for that. But, you know, somebody wants to buy 90 of my T-shirts. Well, we make it happen. I can't. Oh, sorry.
Dude, if all I know is that if somebody actually turns around and buys your T-shirts, that much, they better be showing them up at an event.
Yeah.
Like a YCS.
Yeah,
there better be a huge team or several teams just wearing this shirt, take it to a YCS, and just wear it.
Could you imagine? Oh my God, that would be hilarious. That the next
YCS.
big event.
Better yet, the entire North American team for Worlds wears this shirt. And they go over to Japan and wear it.
And Japan's just like, what does that say? And they're like, spank me harder, Konami. And they're like, what? They're going to be like, I can hear it now.
The Yu-Gi-Oh fans would understand it. And
oh, man. I'm not going to lie. The Spank Me Harder Konami t-shirt might have to be a t-shirt that is permanently on there. Like, I want to make other t-shirts. Like, I've also talked about, so this is going to be a spoiler for the audience if they happen to watch this far, which I'm not worried about it, because let's face it, we've been talking for almost an hour by now. Minusing the time it took me to get reconnected. But I was going to say, one of the things I want to do is I want to change the Omnitrix symbol on my watch, and I want to make a t-shirt with the new symbol, and what I want it to do is green and black, same colors, but instead of an Omnitrix, it'll have the Millennium Puzzle. Because it would still be the watch. It'll be the
watch.
I still slap the watch to turn into a Yu-Gi-Oh monster. It's just
more Yu-Gi-Oh themed.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be the Yu-Gi-Oh Omnitrix, essentially. It'll be the upgraded Omnitrix. There we go. So, and then, you know, then of course we can make a line of jokes that kind of go with it when it's advertising time. And then, but the point is, I want to make a t-shirt that just has a plain black t-shirt with like, or maybe like a gray t-shirt with a black symbol on it with a Millennium Puzzle or something like that. But it would be just green and just the shape of the puzzle. Like, you don't see the eye or the cracks or anything like that. It would just be like the triangle with the little hoop at the top.
Yep.
And that would be it.
That would be cool.
And I even have this skit idea in mind for when it comes time to advertise it.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, you ready for this? So, if you go back into the lore, there's a thing where I was programming the watch to have Kaiba's voice, right? Where I'm sticking the microchip in there. And then I said, oh, here's the power core. And you just see the little light thing flash by the camera. You don't really see what the light is. You just see it in there, and then you just see the light go away. Well, the idea is that the lore of it is that I have melted down the Millennium Puzzle to make the power core for the watch. And then the joke is that I will do is when I've upgraded the watch, is I will slap it, and then I will split into two, right? And then you'll see kind of like Matrix Ben, if you will, only minus the glasses, right? And what I'll do is, this is great because nobody will see this part. What I plan on doing is I'm going to put on some guy liner and talk like a Tim and be like, what just happened? And be like, you melted down my puzzle.
Jesus.
I think it'd be hilarious. I don't know exactly what would be said, but the idea is like to have a Tim in a clone body of mine just pissed off that I melted down the puzzle to make the core for the watch.
Oh man.
And then I want to try to find like Dan Green lines and kind of stitch them together so he throws insults at me like you're an idiot, or something like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure surely he's thrown some like insults or just had like annoying sighs or anything when I taught. You know what I mean? I could have it kind of play off in the background just to kind of sell the bit more. You know, and then of course we could do like a split personality kind of joke, if you will. Like I could be talking to the camera, and then it kind of like cuts to me, like with the guy liner, be like, "No, don't play that card." Back like, "You shut up! Stop doing that." You know, that kind of.
Oh yeah.
That kind of banter there, but I don't know. I'm still toying with it. I'm still like fine tuning the humor into it, but that's kind of the joke. The idea is like,
oh, that's gonna be hilarious.
I'm glad that you find this. There you go. You got to be part of the spoilers, and anyone who's made it this far in the video, congratulations, because most people don't watch more than 20 minutes of these. Well, Bystander, it's a 11 past 10. Do we want to go ahead and call it an evening for this, or?
I'm alright if you're alright. I mean, I can keep going. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I just didn't want. Like I said, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not taking up too much of your time.
Nah, it's not an issue. So.
Well, I'm like trying to. Let me think here. Is there anything in the Yu-Gi-Oh like that isn't in the Yu-Gi-Oh game, particularly that you would like to see in the Yu-Gi-Oh game?
Oh, adding stuff into the game.
Yeah, like have you ever like wanted as like for example, you ever wanted a deck masters like in that one season of Yu-Gi-Oh, or is there like a pop culture thing that isn't in Yu-Gi-Oh that you would love to see an official archetype for, like I don't know, like say the Guyver or something, you know, as an example?
Oh, that is interesting because I know they draw a lot from pop culture, so it's pretty interesting to see. They've done movies. I know they got Godzilla, and we actually got the kaijus before Japan did, which is I find flipping hilarious. So
I wonder if Japan was like, "What the hell, man?"
Yeah. They did Star Wars and Wizard of Oz combined, which is interesting. I mean, what other movies combined would work?
I don't know. You know,
I mean, I would love to see maybe a noir theme.
Oh, okay.
That would be interesting. All black and white cards.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. That would be interesting.
Detectives, criminal, mobster, stuff like that. Give it that real feel.
Spiral 2.0.
Oh my god, no, not going that far.
I just meant like in art form. I don't mean like
art form.
Yeah, I just mean I didn't mean in like play style.
Oh, that shakes.
And then they make one broken card and everybody's playing the new art deck.
Yeah.
Bystander, you'd just be sitting there like with a twitch in your eye, like that's my trick.
Yeah.
There's actually a few things that I would like to see. Just that, like, so for example, everybody knows that Elemental Hero Absolute Zero is my favorite Elemental Hero. I would love to have more cheap, keyword cheap, water Elemental Heroes support. Like, I would just like to make a water Elemental Hero deck. And then have Absolute Zero be the boss monster of that set deck.
That would be cool.
That would just be something that I would like to see, is just see kind of like a little more variance in the Elemental Heroes themselves, not just, oh yeah, this is like they've made basically the hero deck where it's all the heroes in one. You know what I mean? Now let's make. Now I would like to have
start branching out into each element, really expand.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be interesting.
Like have a fire archetype heroes, have some water, some earth, etc. Like, and then like really like I'll probably need a light too, but dark doesn't really need one. Thank you, Destiny Heroes. Destiny Heroes have kind of got the monopoly on darkness, but that's all right.
Yes, I know.
I don't know. There's just that's also, by the way, Bystander, this is a conversation just as much as it is an interview. So you can always ask me a question if you want. If there's anything you want to know, just for reference sake, you could always ask me. If you want.
The thing is that my thing is that you were talking about the water elemental heroes. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I kind of was disappointed with was how they designed Ice Edge in the manga compared to how they did it in the actual physical card. Because the mana was a damn awesome wall monster, and it would have worked.
It would have
worked.
And
it would have worked as a card. See, as a physical card, but then they had to go change it with the whole attacking directly and popping back roll. And
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, that's the thing that bugs me about Ice Edge. Like, I like the idea of using more ice monsters. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Ice Edge season play, but the problem is like, Ice Edge attacks directly. If most likely that back row is going to do something that's going to stop that attack, either preemptively, or it's going to be something like waking the dragon. So you pop, you're like, oh look, now there's a ultimate falcon in my face. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, tunes. Let's talk about that for a split second.
Please.
All right, so everyone says that the tunes are bad. No, they're quite playable. For the record,
They are playable, yes. I've seen your replays, and I'm looking at the deck, and I'm like,
yeah,
they got something there. I mean, the Toon Blacklisted Soldier alone, the fact
being
that
able to just banish any card, not even just a monster, just any card.
it's a better version of the Envoy of the beginning. I remember seeing that, and the fact that it can attack on the Terran summon, unlike the other tunes. It's like
3,000 too, like
3,000 to the face, and I'm like, dude.
And also like the bookmark being able to protect the kingdom in the graveyard. That is crazy.
No,
like,
that was needed though.
It so was. I absolutely agree.
It's so needed. That deck needed it, and on top of being a searcher as well. So yeah, I mean, like Toon's got their own version of like Return of the Dragon Lords there, and like.
And Page Turner being like just a free like unexpected die from the deck basically for a tune. Like that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, you can flash, what is it, Blacklisted Soldier, Toon Dark Magician, and any other tune, and they can give you a plus, and
oh yeah, I pissed
it's
off
like pick your poison then, and like. Oh,
also, like the tune effect to save the Toon Kingdom effect to save your tunes doesn't activate; it just does.
Yeah, it's a continuous effect. So
yeah, and that's the cool thing because it kind of dodges like the new Dark Magician Dragoon monster and like Cyber Dragon Infinity and on like negators and things like that. So like a lot of these like Omni negation cards, they just don't stop the Toon Kingdom from saving the tune. And then of course
it's the same way with Silent Grave Balink. So it just activates and like
so you can't stop it, and that's the one of the coolest things about it. And it's actually the thing that I thoroughly enjoy about it is like. One of the games I was up against, I think it may have made it into that video. I don't remember if it did or not. But I was up against a Cyber Dragon player, and he couldn't negate anything that I was doing because like I just didn't activate anything. And then when it came to attacking directly, it's not an effect that activates. It just happens.
So you can't negate that either. So
yeah,
I mean, people saying that it's not competitive. I mean, you're gonna see people play it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's for certain. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a tier 2 deck.
And extra decks, they don't even need it, man. Pot of Extravagance, which is ironic. They reprinted Pot of Extravagance, and Toons can work with it perfectly. Like,
it's just another deck that doesn't need the extra deck. So yeah, makes sense.
And I have to say that I think that's where Yu-Gi-Oh is going to have to go. Like, if you want to have a functioning deck, you need to have one that can use the extra deck, but doesn't rely on it. Like, that's the reason why I think dinosaurs are as powerful as they are, is because, yes, they can make powerful extra deck monsters like Lagia, Dolka, Abyss Dweller, Calamities, but at the end of the day, it's that Ultimate Conductor Tyranno that scares the piss out of you.
I know, it's like, there are a lot of different decks that don't need to access the extra deck, but they can use it. Mm-hmm. So, I know I've done Dino Mist before. Dino Mist don't need an extra deck at all. You know, the Water Attribute extra deck monsters they can access is just insane.
And then of course they also have Infinity too, and Nova.
Yeah, which they have access to the machine. That is one of the best blends of attribution and typing ever, because you have access to so many different things, and it just allows you to variate the deck in different ways.
And even if you're playing 4s or 5s, they mesh well still. Like they could just be big robots that beat the crap out of you.
Yeah, you don't even have to extend it. Actually, just go directly at your opponent with Spinos.
Like Iron Man and the Avengers too. Go to sleep. Go sleep. Go sleep. Go sleep.
Yep,
it's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. I was gonna say, do you I think I lost my question. Damn it. Shoot, I had it for a split second there. I had a question I was going to ask you, and it was related to the Dino Mist. Oh, now I remember. We have that new archetype that's coming out that's like anti-extra deck. I can't
Dragma.
remember. Dragma. Okay.
Yes.
So do you foresee that Konami might limit or ban Cyber Dragon Nova because a lot of players might be putting it in their extra deck to kind of circumvent losing to Dragma? Because basically Dragma destroys in the extra deck, and then basically Cyber Dragon Nova gives that player a free machine. Or do you think that they'll try to limit or ban, like maybe Makaba, Invoked Makaba?
Oh, I think it'd probably be Makaba first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Nova is interesting because it does get you that additional monster, but it really depends on the monster you're bringing out because it has to be a machine fusion monster, I think, and so it's either going to be something like Cyber End with the big attack or the Barbaroid.
Yeah, which I think the Barbaroid's whole thing is like, oh, I just can't be targeted or something like that.
Barbaroid, it can attack twice, negates monster effects that are sent to the graveyard.
Oh, okay.
Pretty awesome card. So
okay, so never mind. I was just wrong then. I was
Like,
wrong.
no, I remember running that card in my Cyber Dragon deck with Nova, just crashing Nova into things to get that guy out to do even more damage.
Yeah. Well, because if the Nova goes to the graveyard because of a card effect, doesn't even matter. Like I accidentally triggered it in a game I was playing, just waiting for us to do this. I was playing against a Cyber Dragon player. I misplayed, sent it to the Nova to the graveyard with my Conductor Tyranno, and then of course he had the Link Cyber Dragon, and then I was like,
Zeger.
well, like he had Zeger out on the field at the same time, so I couldn't attack it obviously because he would just get bigger than my dinosaur, so I had to like be kind of picky and choosy about when I attacked. So he kind of slowed me down because I was staring down a twin Cyber Dragon, and I was like, oh, I can't beat over that. So I had to go to like main phase 2 and had to like blow up a baby dinosaur and do like some flip shenanigans and get out Pankratops because I was gonna lose that game otherwise. Cyber Dragons, man, if you're not paying attention, that deck still will get you.
Oh yeah, it can OTK you. The stun variant is very interesting as well. So
also, like Yuki Nono, excuse me. Yugi Nono found a way to friggin' play Hope Harbinger in it, or not Hope, or Titanic Galaxy, the spell negating dragon. I was like, are you kidding me? He made like a kaiju Cyber Dragon variant, and it was like, oh yeah, here's Infinity, here's Titanic Galaxy. I'm like, oh, talk about telling your opponent to screw off.
Oh man, that's that. Okay, so let me see. If trying to get to level 8s.
He abused Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon.
Fortress Dragon is a level 8, yeah.
Yeah, so basically what he would do is he'd like go second, use the Slumber to give them the robot, and then he'd just, okay, here's my level 2 Cyber Dragon, here's my plus, and then I go combo. And then of course like he would give himself a level 8 Kaiju. I think he chose if I recall correctly, he would give himself the dinosaur. And then he would he'd give himself Dogoron. He'd give the opponent the machine one. I can't remember its name. And then he would just like I said, he'd play the little level 2 that counts Cyber Dragon, contact fuse, make the Chimera Tech, and then
Fortress Dragon.
There's your Galaxy. And of course, if you happen to drew machine dupe, you just went extra plus because you were like, okay, now here's 3 Cyber Dragons.
Yeah, and Nova Infinity, right?
Yeah, and then just
with an extra Cyber Dragon on the field, so yeah.
And then of course if you're already playing, like I think he was already playing Kaiju, so you could like Kaiju over problem cards already. Oh man. I didn't think about it. Yugi Nono came up with that. I was like, oh my god, I wish I could do something like that with dinosaurs. I'm just not that clever. Sometimes I come up with some crazy combos, like I'm still probably one of the only guys who likes to play Rise to Full Height in his Lightsworn deck. Because everyone's like, oh yeah, you forgot about that, now you can't attack.
Man.
People like, everyone forgets that little mini loop with Omega. you move Rise to Full Height, you make Omega, and then you just do your shenanigans during the standby phase and stuff when your opponent can't really do too much. And then your opponent's like,
yeah.
It's like, you will never get to swing at me. Ever. And then, of course, I used to do it with Fairy Tale Snow.
And
So what I would do is I'd okay, you have to attack Lumina, and then they'd be like, okay, I'm gonna attack Lumina, and then I'd go, okay, Fairy Tail Snow, banish Lumina, your battle phase is done. I pissed off a Blue Eyes player that was very, very prominent in my local community here in Texas. He was one of the better players. I think he even got third place at a YCS when Blue Eyes was like the big deck, and I beat him with my Lightsworn because of Fairy Tail Snow kept putting his shit face down.
God.
Of course, mind you, we had it at 3. We had it at 3 back then, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, banish.
Oh my god.
And then the way I won was I had one copy of Grand Maju in the main deck, and then I had the Bujinki monster that takes 3 level 4s in the extra. So what I would do is just sit there and banish and flip and flip and flip, and then I'd wait for them to have like a weenie monster in attack mode, and then I would go, okay, make Bujinki, okay, bring back Grand Maju from the banished pile, and I would hit for like 12,000 damage.
Oh my god, and now all the Grim Module players are going to say, we need to run Lightsworns!
We need what?
We need to run Lightsworns!
No. They're better off not playing Lightsworn. Lightsworn can come back when the Toon Chaos stuff gets here. When they can play some Chaos cards, then Lightsworn will be able to play again.
Those were the days, the Twilight Sworn.
Well, Twilight Sworn's about to come back. It's just they're not going to be as many Lightsworn monsters in there, but you're going to see like Raiden and Charge Light Brigade and Lumina definitely come back into the game at the very least. Because just sending free darks and lights for your chaos monsters essentially.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lightsworn laugh at cards like Ash Blossom because like especially if it's Charge the Light Brigade, they'll just go okay, charge, mill 3.
Ash, number 5. We graveyard, so
I mill 3. That was the point. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, and then of course and it still pisses off the guy playing Ash Blossom because he's like, there's no point. There's no point to stopping that because he just milled 3 for cost.
Yeah.
I mean, search a Lightsworn monster, that doesn't really... It's not important to the strategy. It's just an engine. It's literally like they're going to play something else that's going to do more damage or more searching. So it's like... And then, of course, with Solar... if they're playing the variant, one of the ones I saw was a lot of people were playing, the Judgment Dragon with the new Chaos support. So, they're playing just enough Lightsworns between the extra deck and the main to get the names in there that they need.
Yeah, to get Judgment Dragon out, and then Judgment Dragon can just nuke the field, swing big.
Yeah, and then so Ash Blossom's just not going to be useful against that deck because it's going to have too many targets. Ash Blossom is most useful when a deck only has one target. You know what I mean? So for example, if we were to go with say we look at Invoke decks. You know what I mean? When you play Mech Knight Invoked.
Yeah.
Ash Blossom hitting the Alistair is a lot more effective in that deck than it would be against a Lightsworn deck that has Charge the Light Brigade, that new Chaos card, Foolish Burial, Solar Recharge, all these cards.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, all these good send cards. It's like, golly, see, Ash Blossom has too many targets, so you hit one, it's not effective enough for it to stop them. So Chaos is going to be out there.
Chaos will definitely be out there. I could see that being
it will
also up there.
Yeah, and then of course you're going to see Gizmek probably splashed in these decks too, to give a little bit of graveyard protection. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I also think that you'll see Grand Maju evolve too. I don't think a lot of people are talking about it because, right now Grand Maju is all Pot of Desires and Gizmek.
Yeah, Pot of Desires, Gizmek, and the field spell Golden
Stromberg.
Yeah, Strombergs.
Yeah. So everyone's thinking those cards, but I guarantee you with these Chaos cards, you'll see Grand Maju get mixed in with the Chaos too. Somebody will find a way to make it work. I mean, come on, if I did it with Lightsworn Fairy Tail Snow, somebody smarter than me is going to figure out how to break that.
And I'm pretty sure somebody is going to basically do that. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Somebody is wrecking Edo right now. Sorry, brother, go ahead.
Grim Maju probably could be a hit as well, especially if the Chaos decks take off. So,
yeah, although I don't think Grim Maju will get hit, to be honest. I think that everybody will just hit, they'll hit all the Chaos cards. I think the Chaos cards will probably get hit on the ban list. Like, I
Maybe.
say more of like the engine stuff. I don't think the monsters themselves will get hit because like none
Well,
of the
they are-
monsters seem crazy. Like it's the
Yeah, I
spell
mean,
that
like-
seems like a crazy one to me. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, they already went after the mini Chaos Dragons, so that was because of the Guard Dragon engine.
Right. And now we're getting a new chaos monster that's like banish a light or a dark. It doesn't matter which one. Just banish.
Yeah,
a
that's
light.
the Valkyrie. Yeah,
Yeah, the Valkyrie. So it's like, oh yeah, free.
and then when she's banished, she sends another monster to the graveyard. So she's like an extra foolish burial, and you can run 3 of her. She's a dark attribute. You could send her via
oh my
Armageddon Knight. So
Oh my god. How dumb is that? And then think about a Chaos Warren. They're like, oh yeah, banish her for like Light Pulsar or Emperor or BLS or whatever.
Yep.
And then they're like, oh yeah, send a wolf for your trouble. Send a Fellis for your trouble.
yep.
Like, oh god. That's fucking disgusting. That is disgusting. You're gonna see freaking Dark Law decks return, I guarantee it. Because they're gonna, and I'm not even sure that they would be effective, to be honest. Like some of those cards get pluses off of being banished. Like, oh, Thunder Dragons, Thunder
Dragons.
Oh,
Thunder
God.
Dragons is running. It's gonna. Thunder Dragons will be coming back
Oh,
with
absolutely.
the Chaos Engineer.
Come on, like my janky ass Chaos Creator Thunder Dragon deck. Everybody was watching. Like that deck is such jank, but somebody looked at that and went, I bet I can make that better. Somebody out there is already scheming. I guarantee it.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like from Team Samurai or Yasin.
Yeah.
They'll do it.
Oh yeah. Somebody's gonna break that, and I'm gonna be like, I came up with it first. I came with it first.
Yeah, they came up with a janky version. They just fine tune it.
That's fine. I mean, I literally said that like a lot of my deck profiles. That's kind of like, especially if it's not a personal deck, like the Toon deck and the Chaos Creator of Thunder Dragons. Those aren't personal decks of mine. I don't own those decks. I mean, I have Thunder Dragons, but I haven't played with them enough to kind of figure out how I want to build them right now. So I just kind of threw one together. But like, so a lot of these decks are janky, and I've said they're literally just. Sorry, I'm playing with a Ninja Star. I have, you know what I mean, but they're just a template. The idea is you as the player are supposed to take the deck that I built, mess around with it till you figure out how it works. And then, you know what I mean? Or if you listen to me talk.
That's pretty much when any Yugituber puts up a deck profile, you're taking it for yourself and you build it for your own personal style of play.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like even the decks that I showcase, they don't always stay that way either.
No.
Like when I showed my dinosaur deck like recently, like 3 days later, I changed up the list again. And I was all like, oh, I like this better right now. Like right now I'm playing double Tyranno, which I was playing 3 in that deck list. And then I took out a field spell, the Dino Wrestler field, 1 copy of it. And then I took out a copy of Lost World so I could play Called by the Grave. So far it's been working. Like I literally just kicked the crap out of an Orcus player. Like, like golly, like man, Called by the Grave is damn.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I as much as I hate that card. And of course I'm also still trying to figure out how to fight against it with my dinosaurs, so it's Yu-Gi-Oh's a very interesting game, that's all I'm saying.
It is.
Yeah. Definitely.
And that's kind of like why I really like the game about so much, because it's always evolving. The games are a lot more fast paced instead of a lot of the resource based TCGs that they're like Pokemon or Magic. And you just get your monsters in the field, your attack. You don't have to worry about managing energy cost or anything like that. So,
although like Yu-Gi-Oh has its own way of doing resource gathering. It's just, for us, it's very simplified. It's like you're trying to get as many cards as you can so you can make as many moves as you can to make it to where your opponent can't make any moves at all.
Yeah.
That's literally the name of the game. Like, and there's
sometimes you're drawing into them, sometimes you're sending into something to the graveyard to explode and stuff like that.
And sometimes you're setting up things like, like for example, like you go first and you're setting up back row. So you're trying to like, okay, yeah, go ahead, roll up my back row, see what happens. You'll be sorry.
Yeah, deal with my little friend with 4,500 attack there.
Right. Like the only thing that, although personally, what I wish would happen is, what I would like to do is find a way to like, all right, so one of the decks that I really enjoy is Dark Magician. I don't mean like with the Dragoon. I mean like regular Dark Magician.
Yeah.
One of the things I would like to figure out how to do is I wish I could make Eternal Soul blow up my opponent's graveyard on the field instead of mine. I wish I could find a way to do that.
That'll be an interesting effect. But then again, Konami's coming up with plenty of support, so it's only a matter of time before they cycle around back to Blue Eyes and Dark Magician to give them more support. So,
and don't get me wrong, I do think the Dragoon is necessary. He's a necessary evil. The thing that I don't like about him is that he's splashable, and that's the problem.
Yeah, the splashability. The splashability is a problem. I know the OCG, they went after certain key cards that were in the engine. I know Red Eyes Fusion was one of the cards that actually they went after.
I think they limited it to one, though, I think.
Yeah, they limited it to one, but then again, all you really need is one.
Yeah, and then, of course, you're going to have to either ban Red Eyes Fusion or ban Anaconda. One of the two is going to have to happen.
It's more likely to be the fusion spell.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I don't really care which one goes, because, let's face it, like, Red Eyes, as much as I'm sure the Red Eyes players will be annoyed, their deck's not going to... It just doesn't do enough.
Yeah, I mean... Dragoon, I've played against Dragoon, and I realized that with the way the meta is shaped, a lot of decks are remaining Dark Roar no more, and that card shuts down Dragoon like crazy. So it's like, okay, so we're literally still stuck in a situation for the next 3 months with the same format. Dark Roar no more is going to be main, which basically means Dragoon, when it comes out at the end of August, not a big deal.
Yeah, and then of course we get a ban list in September.
Hopefully September 1st.
So maybe, yeah. So basically if we... Wait a minute, am I right about that?
Yeah, September 1st.
Okay. So maybe there's a chance that ban list will hit something and and kind of solve that problem at that point in time.
Yeah.
We can hope anyway.
Yeah, we can hope, but like I said, it will be like a couple of weeks after it's released because the tins it comes in is coming out at the end of August, so...
Yeah. I mean, and I was...
They might not go after it right away, but probably maybe the last list of the year.
Yeah.
It's usually maybe like November or something like that.
Of course, and then maybe we'll be lucky by then, and they'll also be having, towards the end of the year, we'll have the vaccine for the coronavirus.
Fingers crossed that we get the vaccine soon,
Golly. And then our leaders don't do anything else stupid where I'm not having to look at trying to immigrate to Canada to try to get the vaccine. Oh, man. Of course, knowing my luck, they'll be like, $100 if you want the vaccine. And I'm going to be like, I'm going to kill someone. Not literally, for the record.
No.
I'm just figuratively.
It's just a lot there with it, but
yeah, I'm hoping that if they're going to charge everybody, I mean, the intelligent thing would be to make it free for everyone, because it literally
would be the intelligent thing, especially considering how this thing spread.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally one of the most dangerous viruses we've seen in our lifetime.
Dangerous viruses. I know a lot of people will counter. Oh well, there's like a 95% recovery rate.
Yeah, but
Fine.
This literally kills people with immune diseases and bad health. Like, I'm sorry, even people who are overweight will have trouble dealing with this, and that's most Americans, for the record.
Yeah.
I know I don't look like a superhero from the neck down. I might... It's because I like pizza. Stop judging me. I like my fast food. It's like, that's my kryptonite, man. People are like, pizza? And I'm like, ha-ha! Damn it!
Yeah, your kryptonite is pizza. My kryptonite is basically food, in general.
Yeah. So, it's just an example, but yes, especially the worst kind, the greasier the better.
All right, well, here's a question for you. Your favorite pizza toppings?
Pizza topping? Oh.
Yeah.
How about I just tell you my favorite pizza? Barbecue chicken.
Oh.
Yeah. Like instead of the marinara sauce, put barbecue sauce on that.
So it's on it, yeah.
And then make it thin crust. Oh.
Oh yeah, there's a pizza place called Blaze Pizza that's by me. Mm-hmm. They actually can make the pizza the way you want it. Barbecue sauce, the mozzarella, the chicken. I put the red onions on it. I spiced it up. I put pineapple in with it as well. So
the last time I did something a little different with it, I put jalapeno on it.
Spicy chicken, angry chicken.
Oh, I knew it was angry. It was indeed angry. Cause
angry chicken, angry barbecue chicken.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I went to bed that night burped once and had to get up because I was like, nope. My stomach, everything was on fire all the way up. I was like, holy.
Oh,
It was awful, but the pizza tasted great. But yeah, I can't eat the spicy stuff with it anymore. But yeah.
Moderation, but
Yeah. I wish I could still eat the spicy stuff like I could back in the day. Like when I was a teenager, I literally could take like a whole jalapeno, just no problem.
oof.
Not now. I do that. Like this part of me can handle it. This part of me, like, my stomach is like, what are you doing? Why are you asshole?
Yeah. Oh, man.
What is wrong with you? We're old now.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I just turned 30 in April, so. Yeah, I don't look 30, but I am 30. How old are you, Bystander, if you don't mind me asking?
10 years older than you.
No way! You are not! You are not! Really?
Really.
You don't look like, no.
I don't feel it either, so.
You do not look 40. No freaking way.
I got that. It's just this that's a
Oh,
reminder, so.
35 at the highest is what I would have guessed. At the highest.
I'll take it.
I was like, really? Like, my jaw just...
Yeah.
Oh, man, I make jokes about being the dad in one of the Yu-Gi-Oh communities I'm in.
I'd probably have you beat if I'm in there, so.
Oh, man. And you're actually an educator, so you actually kind of are. Oh, man. That's one of the jokes I make is I'm in Invoked 101's like Yugituber Alliance or whatever that he has. He has a whole Discord. I don't pop in very often, but in there I make jokes at R2YGO because he's like he's a very small Yugituber. He's got like 100 subs, but he's like 19 years old. So I make jokes that I'm his dad. So I'm like, do your homework, you child.
Oh, man, yeah.
And then of course there's another Yugituber. I think he's like my age, and he'll make jokes about and be like, whatever you say, daddy. And I'm just like, why do I have a feeling this has a bit negative connotation to it that I don't want to read into? But that's the internet for you. That's all right.
Yeah, there is.
It's as long as it's making people laugh, that's the goal, man.
That's it. Entertaining people, informing people. That's what we're here.
Actually, the reason why I even chose the Ben 10,000 moniker is because that way I could be this character for a while. Because Ben 10,000, a lot of people don't know this, but his character age is about 40, 45 years old. So I'm actually a little too young to be Ben 10,000. But I figured they just see the brown beard, they see the watch, that's the connection. And I figured, and I got told I got resting Ben face by a friend of mine. Yeah, that's where that joke started. He looked at me. I was with some friends. We were trying to figure out what superheroes we look like, right? And I'm into Yu-Gi-Oh and all that stuff, obviously. And we're all doing that. And I'm like, oh, I don't look like anybody. And I have this annoyed look on my face. And he goes, wait a minute. He goes to Google. Google's Ben 10,000, and he has this picture of Ben with his arm at his hip, going, doing that stern look on his face. And then he looks over at me and he goes, "You're Ben 10,000." Of course, I had more hair when he made that joke. But so there you go. That was where this channel's born. Was I was like, okay, I'm gonna take that joke and I'm gonna add a Yu-Gi-Oh element to it, and
you ran with it, man.
And I ran with it, and
it's
I got
special.
I got so much shit for it too. Much shit. I got I had a handful of people say, we're all laughing at you, we're not laughing with you or whatever, and I'm like, but you're watching the channel.
Exactly. The views and watch time, Blue Boy. That's all that matters.
That's literally how I felt about it. I'm like, I don't care if they're laughing at me, because at the end of the day, guess what? If a year from now let's say I'm at a couple thousand subscribers and I'm making money off the channel and all that stuff, and I'm gonna be going, who's laughing now? Yeah, you're laughing at me, but you're also paying my bills.
Yeah, the ads.
Ads, t-shirts. Oh yeah, I actually have more t-shirt designs that I haven't messed with yet that I'm gonna have to try to draw myself. One of the ones I want to do is try to figure out how to make a cartoon version of me with the hat and everything. Just like going, oh, please be the right monster, please be the right monster. You know what I mean? And like having like different monsters in the background. I still haven't figured out how I'm gonna do it yet, but that's something I want to try to play around with. I may have to use the my camera tricks to do that, but we'll see what I can come up with.
Oh, I was thinking maybe you have your 10 favorite monsters representing your decks and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see who they are, but they're like shadowed out.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was. Yeah, exactly. And then, but the idea was like the shadow would be like green colored.
Mm.
That was kind of where I was going with it. And then the other one I thought about is like be a Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and the idea was to have like a superhero silhouette with a dual disc. You know what I mean? Like that was one of the, I've come up with. I haven't drawn art for any of these yet, but like I said, I haven't drawn in a long time. So I'm gonna focus on getting the upgraded Omnitrix first. That'll be the first like probably new thing that I work on. But until then, and then of course the rest of the time I'll be making like meme shirts because I think it's more fun to make jokes.
The memes, yeah.
Yeah, because let's face it, Yu-Gi-Oh, like life is too boring. You know what I mean? Like it's too short to be boring. So
No.
let's make people giggle and laugh and go, what is that? You know what I mean? That is the ultimate goal for my channel. What about, and yours is to educate people. So you're like
Yes.
a Yu-Gi-Oh teacher, if you will.
Yeah.
With a new R theme. I'm just waiting for you one day to pop up with a cigar being like, oh, you want me to teach you how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, eh? Let me tell you, back in my day, son.
It's interesting, yeah.
I don't know. One of these days, Team FTK will have to we'll be in the same place at the same time.
Oh, definitely. Team FTK needs to get together one time.
Just one time. Could you imagine the
one
whole
time.
team just in one place at the same time? Oh my god.
And then we'll be all like be pointing at each other.
Everybody'd be like, what the? Could you imagine? Oh man, that group photo would be wild.
Oh, well.
Because like Kamel lives in England, and I think the Joker lives in Australia, so it'd be a wild to see all of us in the same spot.
Definitely, eh?
Oh man, that'd be great. I'm keeping my fingers
Would
crossed.
be awesome just to have everybody come to just save up money, go to a particular YCS, and just
Everybody, yeah, being at the same YCS, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The photo op alone would be worth it. Oh,
I mean, Konami's been doing team YCSs more on an annual basis lately. I know they've been doing it over. Last one was in Las Vegas, I think. So hopefully, maybe the next one they're doing, which will probably be next year.
yeah, get a few of the members together to.
See if we can all get together and come and get out to one. I mean, I would be willing to save up money for that and get out there. So
Yeah, it'd be kind of funny. Like, and then look, the only thing that'd be even funnier is if like you got the like. There'd be like more than one Team FTK, if you will, like Team FTK 1, Team FTK 2.
Q2.
Yeah, because there'd be like, so usually 3 people, right? So that'd be hilarious because there's like, I don't know how many members we have altogether. Like, don't we have like 8 or something like that?
Oh, Jess, I know Destiny, she contributes. I'm not sure how active of a player she is.
You got Joker, you, me, that's Kamel, that's 6 right
No.
there.
There's Afro Chet as well, the other Chris.
Afrochette, yeah. I think, or Afrochette, you're probably right. I probably pronounced it wrong. That's like, what, 7 now?
7, yeah. So even if Destiny decides not to compete, I think we have enough. But then again,
yeah, like 2 teams.
Joker only plays Speed Duels, so
That's all right. We could talk him into it. We could talk. We might have to bring a spare deck, but we could talk him into it. We just find the trolliest deck. The most chaotic trolley thing that we can come up with. Some Mystic Mind nonsense. He'll do it. We could talk him
Mystic
into
Mind True Dracos. There you go.
There you go. Done.
People up royally.
He'll be sitting there like, I am the villain of Yu-Gi-Oh! You know what? Somebody asked me like when me and him were gonna like. The only reason why I was saying him and me haven't like made a joke about it, like because he's the Joker and I'm the Benten, like superhero, supervillain, is just because we play different formats. That's the only reason why we haven't interacted. Because if he would like, I'm not interested in Speed Duel. I just don't have any interest into it, and he doesn't.
That's a fun format, so
yeah, it just doesn't appeal to me personally. So I don't play it, especially because I have to buy a whole different set of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's kind of the other frustrating thing for me. Your sister is interrupting important work.
yes, I can always edit it out.
We'll just, We'll just throw my throwing star at her.
She'll probably catch it and throw it back. So
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, she's a ninja. So are you the older sibling or the younger sibling?
I'm the older.
Oh, so are you the oldest sibling? Out of
Yes.
all of them?
Yes.
How many siblings do you have?
Just her.
Oh, just her? Lucky
Yes.
bastard.
Oh man.
I have so many siblings. My youngest sibling, he's 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got somebody who can get hooked on Yu-Gi-Oh! Then bring up the next generation.
No. She likes superhero stuff, and her jaw damn near hit the floor when I told her she could be a princess and a superhero. She was like, what? Because she's like, all right, so
Wonder Woman.
she loves Disney stuff, right? And she's like, I love superheroes, but you can't be a superhero and a princess. And I was all like, bet. And she goes, well, And I say, yeah, Wonder Woman, princess and a superhero. And her jaw hit the floor. Her eyes went wide. She was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Superhero and a princess. And she was like, I made that little girl's day telling her that. She was just like, oh, it was pretty funny. But yeah, there you go. So that's my baby sister. That's with my dad. So, yep, I have a sister young enough to be my own kid. How weird is that?
bad.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't need kids. I have a half sister who's young enough to be mine. I'll just live vicariously through my dad.
Oh man.
And he's just like, I'm exhausted all the time.
Well, yeah.
And I visit her. I visit them on the holidays and stuff, and I'm like, man, me too. And I ain't been here but 5 minutes. Oh. Kids, man, they're wild. I bet you
Preach.
Would know. You would know.
Oh yeah.
You would know.
I know.
Oh man. Yeah. So you do a lot of like tutorial work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you ever have to like bribe kids with like candy or anything to get them to behave?
No, not really. It's more. Really haven't had to do that recently. More if it's at the center, it's more or less no break time for you,
Oh, okay.
or no extra time after the session is over, where you can play on my computer and stuff like that. Like in like what?
So, but you try to use like a rewards, positive reinforcement type system.
Usually, yeah, I try to. Yes.
Yeah.
You just can't use it that often because the kids would just be doing it just for that. Then, and it's like.
I used to have this tutor that I went to when I was a kid because, like, you know, I had dyslexia, so I had to have a tutor kind of help me deal with it. And her favorite thing to do was to get me to read because I hated reading. Her method was comic books and candy.
Okay.
It worked.
It worked, yeah, because comic books you gotta read, yeah.
She was all like, "You all right? You want to read? You like superheroes? Okay, then let's read some comic books." That was her method, and that's how I got into comic books because I had a tutor who was teaching me to read.
See, learning how to read through comic books, not a bad thing.
No, and then
It's
of course,
it's a good medium.
and if I read enough of the story to like tell her what happened, she would give me candy. So that was the bribe. The parents were desperate to get me to learn to read. And
Yeah,
now, and now I'm a grown up and I enjoy reading for fun. What the hell happened?
No, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's become a bit of a lost art. I mean, a lot of people like to read on their tablets
Yeah.
now more often than have physical books. Me, I like having the physical books because you can just flip through the pages, have the actual book in your hand and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's just, I don't know, I'm kind of with you in that. Like, there's just something different about reading it on a phone or a tablet versus reading it like holding a physical book in your hand.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know. Like, the funny thing is, like, all right, so Adam Ruins Everything is one of my favorite shows. I'm sure you've seen this show. You know.
Yes.
So he did a segment a while back about audiobooks, and he was talking about how, like, you don't actually even own them. In fact, a company that you bought the book from for your tablet or whatever can take it away at any time.
Yeah, this remove it from the library. Yeah, that
Yeah.
just sucks.
They remove it from the library, and then you lose your copy, even though you paid for it. So that's kind of like one of the messed up things about it. And he was like, and then there were also, and it was like, I think it was even in the same episode as he was talking about like your phone. Like, yes, you own the hardware on your phone, but you don't own the software.
Software.
Yeah, which is why you can't make certain changes. And I found out that like through that show that if you try to make certain changes to your devices or try to repair them, some of the software has like bugs that are deliberately made so they won't work. Yeah,
booby trap it.
Yeah, they booby trap it. Yeah, so even if you figured out, like, so for example, if I took my cell phone apart, figured out like why my battery doesn't last as long, and then fixed the problem, and they found out about it, they could sue me. They could. Even if I don't have plan to, I don't plan to distribute it just for my device alone. You know what I mean?
Also, they probably wouldn't. They probably wouldn't sue you, but the warranty is gone.
Yeah, especially if they discovered it. Yeah, if they discovered how I fixed it or whatever. Although, if I was intelligent enough to figure out how to fix the battery problem, I probably could just fix whatever else happened.
That's true.
To be honest, but
I know I had a friend who said he took apart an iPhone. I think it was like the 7 or something like that, and the processor was attached to the battery. So when you took the thing apart, it ripped the processor out, and it just destroyed the phone completely. And like,
very clever. So they like basically like you just couldn't fix that phone's problem with like battery issues.
No, you have to take it to an Apple store to get it fixed.
Yeah, and they probably have a special tool to like unhinge it from the battery or something that they don't
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or they have a way to like transfer the data from the previous processor to the new one. You know what I mean? So they just basically all they do is they just copy and paste the brain of your phone essentially, and then just hand it back to you. Like that is, although like I will say one thing, the iCloud I have discovered is also a gift and a curse at the same time. So I have my charging cord is kind of damaged, so it'll charge my cell phone, but it won't connect my cell phone to my primary machine.
Oof.
Yeah. So thanks to the iCloud, I am able to download I have basically upload all my video footage on my phone to my machine that way. It's very frustrating though, because it can take like the last video I did where I had the longer one of the skits. I was like 45. It was a short skit, but it took a while to get all the footage because there's multiple angles. Took 2 hours to get to get a couple minutes of footage off of my phone, so I could make a 48-second skit. 2 hours.
2 hours.
I was so pissed. It was the day that video that I was saying I wasn't sure there was going to be a video.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, that was so mad. I was like, my eye was twitching. I was debating about smashing my machine. I was like. And I was like, no, Brian, don't kill it. Don't destroy the machine. That's not going to solve anything. No. So I take it have you ever had some of these issues? Or do you not really use a lot of editing?
My main issue with the editing is for the Team FTK stuff, I can't put the intro music onto the videos. And it's very frustrating because I can put the video and get it together, but it won't play the sound. And I'm just trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong? I mean, it is the right file that it could play, and when I play it through the file by itself, it has the music, it has everything. It's just that when I put it into the video editing software, there's no sound.
What are you editing with, if you don't mind me asking?
I have the iMovie on my Mac here.
Okay, I've never used iMovie, so I really couldn't tell you. I have Movie Maker on Windows. And that's what I primarily use, so because I'm poor, so let me tell you how bad I have. I have a Emerson TV that has a broken DVD player in it. That is my secondary monitor, basically, and it's like from 2000s, and it's very small. That's my second monitor. My machine is a good computer. It's a Dell, so I have a good laptop. But the screen is cracked because I own a lot of weapons and I used to have a smaller living space, so I fell on my laptop, and one of the handles to one of my swords hit the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I tripped over my own shoelace. I told you I was clumsy.
And also now I know not to break into your house because you have enough arsenal to kill me.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah.
That's not the only thing I have. I have a lot of swords, but I also have a few other things. But we're not going to go into that. Point being, I tripped, and I have like, I want to say 1, 2. I have a bunch of cracks on my screen. Like obviously you guys don't see them because like the screen still works. I see it,
And it could be annoying, yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, like I said, my charging cord to my cell phone doesn't plug into my machine. The best piece of machinery that I have is this new microphone. It's a blue microphone. That's the brand, Blue. That was the coolest new thing that I have is this mic right here, and the headphones that came with it. Like those are the newest high-tech machinery I have. The rest is all like this. My computer is at least 4 years old. I think I got it in like 2016 at least. I've had it for a while. So in computer years, that's like 60 years. But
But 2016, yeah.
So yeah,
It's
probably
aged, yes. It's
Yeah.
not a fossil. I mean,
no. It's still. I got plenty of memory and all that stuff. I just more or less there's just. It's just that the rest of the stuff that goes with my machine, like and plus like the cracks and things like that, I need to either fix it or in which everything costs money to fix or replace. So it's, and I just don't have it right now. So right now I just like I also like don't have so I don't have money for like software or anything like that. So that's why
sucks.
yeah, that's one reason why some of the times it takes so long to do videos. So. So like, have you ever noticed like you'll see me for like a week, day after day for like a week or whatever, and then like the next week it's like just 3 videos. That's it.
Yeah, it's like all right. So he's editing. Yeah, he's got to get stuff done. So
Yeah, pretty much that's what happens. It's like legitimately like that's how you can tell. I'm always working on the channel. I literally I take maybe 2 days off out of the week to just so I don't burn out, but. Even on those days, I'm still working on something. I have a whole binder around here somewhere. Yeah, just a binder full for YouTube stuff. I have like pages that are set aside with various things. You know what I mean? So
yeah, getting your ideas running them down so you don't lose them.
Exactly. So I'm always working on something, and I carry like a small notepad with me.
Yeah, that's pretty much standard. If you're doing a video and all of a sudden idea, gotta write it down.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I just kind of like pull it out of my pocket, write it down real fast, throw it back in. So people are like, "Why do you always have a pen and paper on you?" Because that's how I do things.
Yeah, because you get an idea, you want to write it down. Make sure you don't forget it.
Yeah, and sometimes it comes in handy, like the whole testing your deck series. That literally was an idea that popped in my head while I was at a movie theater, and I totally would have forgotten it, and I did forget about it. And then I found it when I was cleaning out my desk, and I was like, holy crap! This is a brilliant idea! I'm a bloody genius.
No, I can't wait to see what the decks you're going to be testing, and especially if you're going to be testing the one I suggested. So,
oh yeah, there'll definitely be a list. But of course, the reason why I had the hashtag wanted that in there so I could find it, so I can just pick one, do it, and then like if I don't get it to yours right away, there's the hashtag. I'll find it again. You know what I mean? Especially because our group only has like 30 people in it, so it's not that big as far as a Facebook group.
oh, that's good. So,
Yeah, so I mean, it'll get a little harder when I get because I don't think it's an if, it's just a win, because I think my channel's already I just passed 800 and I'm already like I want to say I'm at 33 now, 833 now.
833, good. So you're getting up there. But I was wondering how close you were going to get to that ultimate goal of yours. So
yeah, because like the ultimate goal is to get to monetized, and I think I'm like halfway on the watch time.
So you got over 2,000. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm halfway with the watch time. I got to get the other half of the watch time, and I've got to get the like 150 subs or something or 180 subs or whatever I have to get to get to the to get demonetized. And the good thing is once I hit 1,000 though, even if I don't have the watch time, at least a bunch of the other tools will be more available that I can use.
Yes.
And that's the thing I'm most excited about because
Yeah, you get the community tab after 1,000. I usually promote my videos from the previous day through that. So
yeah, and that's another way to remind people. Oh, and the other thing is I can also do polls and topics
Yes.
and have people wanna make suggestions for videos. That'll be an easier way.
I've done that. Nobody responded.
Well, also like we're still considered smaller channels.
So,
Also, you can have to remind people to check the community tab, and they're like, hey, and you got to do it on your videos too. So it's kind of like everything's interconnected. That's why, like, in my videos, like, I also am starting to do things like where I remind people, hey, go to my Teespring, buy my t-shirt, because Spank Me Konami.
I do remind them about my Discord and my various affiliates. So
Yeah. And then, of course, and some things are just easier to advertise, like Instagram and Twitter. It's not hard to put the name,
The links,
or the links, to find you in like the description and things like that. Like, and I use an
description box.
in-card.
I have the links up in the banner as well. So
Yeah. Speaking of that, that's another thing I need to do. Like, there's really like a lot of people don't know how much work goes into a YouTube channel. It really is a lot of work. You have to rethink about banners, how to advertise your other things, let people know you have merch. It's a list of things. You know what merch I wish I had that I get so frustrated that I can't find an online place to make these.
What?
I want to make field centers and tokens.
oh my god,
If there was like a Teespring for those two things, well, I would finally be able to do something. Like I would be able to say, "Hey, Patreon, yeah," because I could just buy like
field
50
centers, tokens,
yes.
game mats. I mean, that's something that I'm because you've kind of inspired me with the whole T-shirt thing,
Yeah.
possibly getting my brand thing out there.
I figured
I know-
freaking if Team APS and SEMO and Nim Nim and all them can have T-shirts, why can't I? And that's the idea is like that was one of the bigger pieces of advice I found is like when you're trying to make a YouTube channel into a job is you want to diversify your income. You want to have as many places that are giving you money. So I have my eBay where I sell some of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I'm not going to use. I have, which I also use to buy cards that I will use, and sometimes I showcase them like on mail day videos and things like that. At some point, I want to set up a PO box so people can send me things, so I can also have more content to show for everybody watching. There's tons of stuff I want to do.
Yes.
And and I want to diversify my income with like T-shirts, mugs, that kind of thing. I don't know. I would personally, I might buy a mug that had the Millennium Puzzle thing, like I was talking about earlier. I would buy that, but I'm a big old coffee drinker, so the coffee is how I end up not in jail.
Okay.
The joke is it's my anti-murder elixir. I drink my coffee so I don't have to kill people. That's a horrible joke, isn't it? I am just kidding, for the record. I've never been that grumpy. I'm just meaning that I drink the coffee and I'm mean and I wish hateful shit on people. Like for example, if I'm up early and I don't have coffee and you're peppy, I'm gonna be daydreaming about what you would look like with a noose.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I've had mornings like that before, so
exactly. And I'm not really, and that's not the real me talking. That's just the tired, grumpy me talking. Real me is like, oh, okay, we're good now.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm not, but coffee is very much like I'm grumpy before I have my coffee. I can't speak for you, but
I'm not that big of a coffee drinker. I mean,
dude,
for me,
what's your morning routine per se?
bowl of cereal.
The bowl
That's
cereal.
about it. Yeah.
Okay, so you eat breakfast. That's your morning
I eat
routine.
breakfast. Yeah.
See, my morning routine is coffee with my Superman mug. And I drink my coffee, and then I'm just like, oh, good. Now I can focus. I don't know why. It helps me focus throughout the day.
Yeah, it's the caffeine boost.
That, and I just feel I feel sharper. You know what I mean? Like hours later. Like, and then if I don't have it, I'm like I get a headache and I'm irritable. Like you think I'm irritable in the morning. If I don't even get my one coffee in that morning, like that's it. I just need the one.
Just the one, right?
This is the one cup. But if I don't have the 1 cup, I'm gonna be a grumpy Gus the whole day. I'm gonna be sitting there like, I wish death on you. I wish death on you and you and you, and especially you. That's like, I'm like,
get that man the coffee.
like, get that man a coffee. He's cursing people. That's literally what I'm just in there like, I hope you choke on a peanut, and you slip on a banana peel, and you get hit by a truck.
Oh my god, it's just pointing out people's deaths. So
That's
damn.
I don't say any of that shit. That's stuff I think when I don't have coffee because I'm mean. Of course, unless you're Donald Douchebag, then I constantly wish you would choke on a peanut.
Oh yes, I think a lot of people in this country do that on a daily basis.
I just was sitting there like, please, just choke on a pretzel, please. Just
Or a Secret Service person's just cleaning their gun and it accidentally goes off in his direction.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I sit there and I wish for hateful shit on that man all the time. Like I've never wished on somebody to like snipe him or anything, but I have wished for something like, you know, like I said, like for him to choke on a peanut or something, like him just choking on a French fry from McDonald's. Like that French fry just didn't quite go down the right pipe, and he just sit there. And the Secret Service is like, they didn't teach me the Heimlich.
Oh.
I bet you there's at least 1 or 2 Secret Service men that are like, oh, this orange moron.
Oh yeah.
There'd be like, there's a few of them that are like, if I spot the sniper, I'm not gonna say a thing.
Oh yeah.
That's why I can't be a Secret Service member, because that'd be me. I'd see that glimmer of that sniper rifle and I'd go,
Take a few steps back.
oh no!
Where did the
see
shit
that
come
happening.
from?
No! Not Mr. President! Oh.
Or during a protest, you just accidentally unlock the gates and doors.
I thought it was locked, I swear!
I had a feeling like during that whole government shutdown thing that some of the Secret Service agents would have probably just, if people stormed the White House, they would have just opened the doors and said, "I've had it, he's in that room."
Hall number 7 to the left.
Yeah.
I'm making that up, but you get the point. Oh, man. First door on the right. That's why I can't be a Secret Service member, because the second that happened, I'd just be like,
Yeah.
I didn't see it. What are you talking about? There's a crowd. Oh, look at that. There is a crowd of people in here. Huh. How did that happen? How did they get in here?
Same reason why I can't turn around, wouldn't be able to do the White House press person. Because I'd be throwing him under the bus every stupid thing he said. Did he really say that racist? Yeah,
Yes, he did.
He's a racist, yes.
He's a fucking moron. So, Mr. Blair, how long were you the press secretary? For 5 whole minutes.
Really?
Just enough time for me to walk out there, say he's an idiot, and leave. I'll be like, that check will be in the mail, right? Oh, goodness. Oh, man.
No,
right
me
now,
would have
there's
been
some
like, yo,
right-winger-
your tweets are going through me now, so anything you're tweeting is going through the official White House Twitter, and I have to proofread it. If it doesn't get it, if it's not good, you gotta do it again.
Sorry, Mr. President, this is racist. Try again.
Yeah.
And then he'd be sitting there like, I don't understand. Why is nothing I'm tweeting going out? This is censorship. It must be Twitter's fault. He'll blame Twitter. He won't even blame the secretary. He's just having a bunch anyway. Somebody should, like, man, I'm telling you, that man has broken more Twitter rules than anybody I've ever seen. And I'm sitting there like, bro, how many racist, homophobic comments is this guy going to make before Twitter has to go, and you broke the rules, you're out?
I'm still trying to figure out, did they promote the guy who accidentally deleted his account? Or did they fire him? Because I'm thinking that man is an American hero who deleted his account. Accidentally.
I have no idea. All I know is, like, there was a thing where Donald Trump said something about voting by mail. And he said, like, oh, Democrats are trying to steal the election. I'm like, bitch, please, with this police brutality thing, you did that yourself. But
No, that whole thing with it, yeah, he's blaming Twitter for trying to rig the election, yet you're trying to discourage people from turning out to vote.
yeah, let's face it, he doesn't believe in voting. He just wants Donald Trump wants to be a king. Let's just flat out say what it is there. That guy doesn't want to be president. He wants to be a king.
Well, the idiots have their king, and he's getting voted out. So,
And he can have his delusions of grandeur all he wants, but he's not gonna be. There's not gonna be a king of America.
no, it's not.
No,
Not without another revolution.
no. And that's the thing that I was saying. This is why this whole thing is so scary to me, because I was all like, man, there's a big. This is the thing that like I get a little bit looked at a little bit funny by my family members, and they're also left leaning like me, so they're looking at me a little bit funny for saying this, but I'm like, do people not realize this isn't like in the 60s and 70s where, like, you know, all those protesters that got shot and the news talked about it and there were pictures. This is like, we're talking about, we are living in the age of the internet where everyone will see this shit. Not just
including
people
the world.
Yeah, not just our country.
Yeah.
Like, for example...
I think, people in other countries were protesting to end the racism here in ours.
Yeah,
I'm like,
how wild is that? And I mean, everywhere. France, England, Canada, Sweden. Like, there's like 18 countries out there. They're like, hey, America, knock it off.
get your shit together.
Like, let's put it this way. This wouldn't be, I'll put it this way. If it got so bad, let's say, for example, and I don't think it will get this bad, but let's just hypothetical here. If it got so bad that, let's say, a cop live round shot a protester. Well, and they're not even rioting. They're just like, you know, saying curse words, and they, you know, shot one. It would be, it'd be headline news on
Headlines,
everywhere,
right?
everywhere. And then, of course, it probably would be live streamed of some poor soul bleeding out there in the middle of the, you know, and dying from police brutality, from being shot, or if they even beat somebody to death with batons. You know what I mean? Like, legitimately, if the cops kill anyone that's just a protester, it could literally spark not even just Civil War II, it could start a whole another world war, because there's so many countries that see this crap, and they're gonna step in. I'm sorry, it's
going to be like, enough's enough.
Yeah, exactly. It would literally be, and this is the thing, like, in a lot of scenarios, like, there's been, like, things like the infographics said, like, what happened if the rest of the world was fighting just the United States? Could the United States win? And they theorized, they theorized that the United States could win, but here was the kicker in that. In their scenario, everyone in the United States was on the same page. So it was, and that's the difference. Now you have a civil war happening, as well as everybody else trying to kill the old regime of the American government. So it would literally be a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
And then you have the one president who's dumb enough to fire a nuke. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it probably won't get to that, so there's no reason to panic. It probably won't get to that. But I'm just saying, that's the farthest as bad as it could get. That's how far it could go.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And and cops and soldiers don't think about that. They don't think about, oh, I might have to fight my own.
Mm-hmm.
Because, now I don't. To be honest with you, I expect more soldiers would stand up and fight their own than I think cops will. I'll be honest with you. I think cops will side with the previous regime more than they'll side with the new one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's just from what it looks like to me. I think more military men would be like, Of course, it also only takes one veteran to make an army.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that. Literally, there's veterans all over the United States, and a lot of them are giving out tips for protesters right now. Like, I saw a lady who's, she was, I don't remember what her branch was, but I know she was in the military, and her job was to teach soldiers how to handle being hit with things like pepper spray, or the gas that they're using on the protesters. And she was talking about how to get how it works, and she went like, I saw it all on Instagram. And she went this whole spiel about how it's not actually a gas, it's a powder. And I was like, well, I kind of knew that based on the way it moves, but yeah. And it's very interesting. She went on this whole spiel about it, and I was all like, wow. But think about it. All it takes is her. Like, she literally, if we came to a Civil War type scenario where it was like, you have the revolutionaries being the ones who are like, okay, we're gonna get rid of everything from the previous regime, and we're going to make a new one. We're going to make a freer America, per se. We'll just say that much. We'll go with that route.
Constitution works. It's just that there are certain elements
Right.
that
We're
abuse it, and you need to remove that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's like, come on, look at the Patriot Act. It completely ignores the Fourth Amendment. So, as an example, so it's very much like that. Basically, you would have this one trying to say, okay, we're going to take all the good stuff from it,
Yeah.
and we're just going to make sure that it applies to all human beings. That way, like, basically, it would be a ground-up scenario. I do though think that they would take the like freedom of speech, freedom to not get searched, that kind of thing. I can't guarantee the Second Amendment would survive in its current rendition, but maybe it might.
I mean, modern life. I mean, when you compare when the amendments were written to more modern life, you can really tell that the gun was more of an everyday tool, and the way they set it up was that it was just to provide support for militias and to be able to organize in case you have tyranny taking over the country.
Yeah.
It didn't really have to do with an individual person's right to own a weapon.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the mid-1990s when the NRA stuck their nose, basically got into...
They kind of flipped sides. They used to be in the earlier days, they used to be doing things like, limiting, like for things like gun control and things like that.
Yeah.
Then the NRA switched sides on us, which is a little bit weird. Like, they started to say, no, because they got corporatized, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I want to make money now, so that means we got to sell more guns. And now we have an area where we have more guns in the United States than we have people. Which I find kind of amusing in a dark and twisted way, like my sense of humor. You're like, can't argue with that. You definitely got a dark sense of humor.
True, but hey.
Actually, did you know I almost made a video where I scrapped the skit because I thought it was too risque, but I was gonna have this skit where we have Family Guy Donald Trump call me up again. Like, you've seen me do it a few times where I kind of poke fun of the president. I was gonna have one where he's all like, "What, you want me to quell the protesters? Yeah, I'll be on my way." And then like you just see me in my PJs cracking open a drink or something. And then the idea was like I get a knock on the door, and I was gonna open the door, and you would see a bunch of like sector security from 5Ds and like a bunch of like machina robots behind them. And then been like, the idea was like in the skit was they were gonna be like, if you don't help us, we're gonna arrest you. And then I'd be like, oh really? And then zap them with a watch, and they're all like a bunch of pig Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. Yeah. Oh man. I decided against it because I thought, man, that's a little too meta, if you will, when it comes to the because I wasn't sure what level like don't get me wrong, I don't mind pushing the envelope, but there has to be a spot where I go,
that's too much.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that, and I was like, I'm sure that I'm probably pissed off a few people, but I'm very open about my political opinions. Like, I just, on my channel, I've literally said I am in line with MBT, and anybody who follows me on any of my other social media knows that me and MBT have the exact same politics. So that's where I am. I'm to the left of liberal, and that makes some people uncomfortable. It is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah.
But until there's like at least 50% of the country thinks like me, y'all don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you do? You think so? Even if not 50% of the people think like I do?
Well, hey, there are those extremist groups that can pop up, so...
Yeah, I guess, but I feel like nobody's going to listen to someone like me to talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm just a Yugituber. They're not going to say, oh yeah, he's right. We should get a guillotine. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. No one's going to get beheaded in the square. At least not by anyone who thinks like me. Let me first say that. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm all for punishing, the people who need to be punished. Like, you look at Donald Trump, I guarantee you there's a ton of crimes he's committed.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he's been able to pay his way out of it. I mean...
He's also been making money off of being the president.
Which is against all ethics laws that are in place.
The emoluments clause, yeah. He's in, like, think about it. And, like, for example, like Saudi Arabian officials, they come over here, right, to do business with the United States. They stay in his hotels. They overpay, and then they don't stay the whole time. So they pay for more space than they need, more time than they plan to stay for, and then they don't take a refund. They're just putting money in his pockets through his hotels. The Saudi Arabian government does it. That's just one of many situations. There's actually a few
That's if they want to come over here and deal with them, though, because a lot of countries are steering clear of the United States primarily because they don't want to deal with them.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You remember, I think there was like a French prime minister or whatever, like, completely walked past him and, like, shook his wife's hand.
Yep. Oh, I've seen the video clips multiple times, and I'm like,
and you just see him looking at her like, bitch. Oh, man. It's fucking hilarious. That man just, he makes it so easy to make fun of him. He just does.
Oh, he does.
Like, when he tried to, like, alright, the joke where I made where I turned into, like, Sparkman and tried to use lightning fluorescence to kill the virus. Oh, man. That was deliberately a reference to him saying, well, we could use sunlight, maybe put it under the skin. I'm like, oh, you fucking moron. I don't even have a biology degree, and I know that that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm just trying to figure out how that person, that expert he has, sat there with a straight face without bursting out laughing or just, no. Or just get up and push him out of the way and say, ignore him. This is what you gotta do. This, and this.
Could you imagine if somebody pushed the president away from the podium? Oh my god. I would be sitting there.
There would be a standing applause from the press.
90% of them, yeah. Except for Fox News. They'd be like, no. But they're what I call right-wing propaganda media, so...
They are. That's accurate.
I mean, don't get me wrong. CNN and MSN...
Yeah, there are propaganda machines for both sides. It's just that...
Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, CNN does some things where I'm like, are you fucking morons? Like, for example, like, when they target, like, Trump's naughty words in the campaign trail, I was like, yeah, he cusses. That's not a thing to attack him on. I'm sorry. It's irrelevant.
No, it was racist policies. That's the thing you go after.
Exactly, but they didn't do that. They ignored his racist policies, and they talked only about his naughty words, and I'm like... And you wonder why people don't take you seriously.
Mm-hmm.
That's my issue with CNN and MSN. So that's why I've gone to more like alternative media. Like I go to like places like Secular Talk and the Young Turks. I may not always agree with them. I'll be honest. Like sometimes I don't think that they're right about how to handle a certain topic. But at least I know that they're telling me, they'll give me the facts and then they'll give me the opinion, and they differentiate between the two.
Yeah.
So that's why I appreciate those two groups, because like Secular Talk will say, well, here's the facts. Donald Trump did X, Y, and Z. Here's what I think that he should have done. And then once you hear what I think, you can choose to go, okay, I'm not listening anymore. That's the part where, you know what I mean? And sometimes I do. And it just depends on what the topic is. You know, like sometimes I don't even need to know. Like any video that's talking about Ben Shapiro, I just go, okay, Ben said something stupid again. Not surprising. Like, I saw a video on Twitter today where he was complaining about how he can't watch sports anymore because it's too political.
Oh, yeah.
He said, like, I'm not going to be on... He said he unsubscribed from Sports Illustrated because they had Caitlyn Jenner on the cover. And Caitlyn Jenner hadn't been an athlete in 30 years, and he was all like, now I'm reading about transphobia. I'm not interested in that. I came to read about sports. Nah, sure you did, Ben. We know what you were looking at Sports Illustrated for. The swimsuit models.
Everybody does that. And yet, please.
Yeah, and then like he said he had to turn off the TV when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. I was like, oh, please.
I'm pretty sure he probably understands it better now.
Isn't that funny how in less than 4 years Colin Kaepernick gets like doubly proven right?
Yep.
Like there was already evidence before he took a knee. Like, look at the Eric Gardner case. That happened before he took a knee.
That's right.
And now, 4 years later, we're still dealing with the same fucking problem. And I'm like, oh, way to go. Way to go. You just proved the guy right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But is there anything you want to let the audience know before we head out?
Just subscribe to Ben because he needs the support.
I do.
Watch this video. Hopefully you're watching the whole video to see this. Subscribe to me as well. I mean, I'm building a community that I'm very proud of. Got my Discord server. You can follow me on social media, Twitter, Reddit. And guys, just keep out there. I mean, keep playing. If you guys want to reach out and contact us, we're available. So there's plenty of ways to contact me. I know there's probably plenty of ways to contact Ben. So
yeah. So,
especially the smaller channel guys. If you guys want to collab with us, hit us up.
Yeah. Just one at a time, please.
Oh, please, yes.
Oh, man. Anyway, guys, this has been Bystander. I'm going to have a link to his channel in the description below. If he comments, I'll make sure that he's the pinned comment so you guys can go check out his channel. And I think we will see you guys in the next one. Like and subscribe. Peace.